My children, my people. There has been a blight that has invaded the internets. SJWs, Trump, Jake Paul. People are doing amateur boxing events and they're selling more than actual boxing events. What does the world come to? What has happened? This is not what reality should be. This is not the true way. And what happens? What do we do when people do not follow the true way? It is time, people. It is time for a crusade. Dios Vult!
Lo hecho pecho. En la boca cerrada entran los moscas. A mal tiempo. Buena cara. Dime. La quien andas en de eres. Más vale de a falta pan. Buenas las tortas. Zapatero tus zapatos. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and all genders in between, to the anime law, where respect is, I think now more than ever, a plea for mercy than a suggestion. For the record, I am the most un-Spanish person you will ever meet, who happens to fall into the Spanish lineage somewhere down the family tree. So I just randomly rambled, honestly, a list of old Spanish phrases that do not translate to English well. So see if any of you can decipher that in the near future.
Yes, that is an Easter egg for anybody who is able to decipher the Spanish, the very rusty Spanish. But today, people, we have like it is true, isn't it? Like the world, like the interwebs has turned into a fucking nightmare. And the worst thing that I find is that everybody's talking about it. And when you miss people talking about PewDiePie, you know something is wrong, right? Like, that's my problem right now.
That PewDiePie actually was the worst, or the least of our worries. And that now we've gotten to a point actually where, hold on a second, just, we've gotten to a point, I've noticed, that, nobody ever expects the worst to come because everyone lives in the moment and they think that is the worst to come. And so when you realize that you had it a lot better in the past, it's difficult to swallow that pride that has since been malnourished by all of the bullshit that it's been inhaling.
Dude, I saw a nightmare, and then I realized that it was real. I sent you the video, which is of like somebody's wearing a VR kit, and then they put something on their like a tool, right, on their chest, and the tool extends, and it has like a place where you place candy and something to get your chin up, and it's like a mechanical piece. You link it up to the VR, and then you put the candy piece, and you click play, and it plays out a movie, like some tough Japanese chick in a dojo, or a tough Japanese tomboy at school, like slams her head on the wall, looks at you, trying to intimidate you in a very, very seductive manner, and then she feeds you the candy bar, right? And then you're like, first you're supposed to look down, and then the device pushes your head up, as in, as somebody like pushes your head up, and then the device also moves the candy piece closer as the VR does it also, and then you're supposed to like eat the piece and feel like joy and happiness that somebody fed you. And I was watching that, and I swear, like everything that was wrong that I expected to happen has been exceeded. I thought I was going to stop at porn. I honestly did. but now like they took it a step up, and you don't know where to fight. You know, like which front do you take? The neo-socialist movements, or the cringe socialist movements up in Asia, or China taking over like all of
That's
industry. Like
that's
what?
nothing, my friend. That's nothing. I will say this. If you thought Asians were scary before, if you were fearful of what they were capable of before, you have no idea. Okay? And the West is paying for this because it just so happens that Toronto opened up, or was set to open, the first sex brothel. And that's all I got to say.
Wait,
But
dude,
what happened was that it. Did you hear about this? Did you not know about this?
I did not know about this. Please tell me more.
No. All right. Toronto, they decided to open the first ever a sex robot brothel with 6 silicon dolls. And what you do with the dolls is up to your discretion. You can have up to 4 hours with the dolls for a total of
Oh no.
$480.
Oh
And
no.
people were already lining up
Oh
until
no.
Canada came to their senses and decided to ban the project from moving any further. They said that it went against certain practices, certain bylaws, and so the project has. They say it's been delayed. I'm not sure where that project is going, but I'm certainly intrigued, and I'm also I'm here for every step of the way, and I'll explain why in a bit. But I do want to hear your reaction to this.
Well, dude, the only reason Canada pulled back on that is because they don't want to be the mockery of all the West. They're already the mockery of all the West with Justin Trudeau as their president, or whatever the fuck they call him, prime bitch, whatever they call him, right? And now they have sex brothels with dolls. No, 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 no. Like they needed to step back. They needed to react to this. They can't stop it. The legal paperwork would probably be won by the company, whatever it is that's opening this place. But they need to save face. They need to at least combat this, right? As for whether it's good or bad, I'm scared of what it might become. Like anything used properly is good, but when something can only be used properly by like 10% of the population, then it's a failed product, and that's what I think this brothel will be.
Well, it's the funny thing is I I expected it to move fairly quickly, but not this quickly. I didn't actually expect to see a headline like the one I saw, and it was under my radar for the latter part of a week, actually. There was no hype about it. There was actually no outrage, at least as much as I thought there would be. I found out about this through a friend who said, "You've been discussing this a lot. Get to it," right? Like it's happening. And then it got canceled, of course, but I did not expect to see this in my lifetime, if I'm being honest with you. The scariest part about it being how accessible it really is. $480 for 4 hours. I believe the price was $80 for a half hour. It's plenty of time to do what you want to do. But the fact that they offer 4 hours, what are people going to be doing 4 hours with a doll? That's a non-intimate experience. But also, how much can you really do with a silicone doll? Because the first thing that comes to mind is real sex, intimate sex with a real person is a bit more, let's just say, physical. The choking, the spanking, the hair grabbing, when I'm hitting it from the back, I'm hitting all sorts of things, right? And is there like a damage policy? Do you have to sign a waiver that if you break anything, you have to pay for it while engaging with these dolls? How would you really know? Because they claim that there's a ton of privacy involved. But what happens if you break it, right? And then somebody walks out. I didn't break anything, but really they just smashed their neck so hard. How is this going to be regulated? If anything, this project was not stopped because it breaks any laws. It was stopped because it's not ready.
Well, now that you've described this further and further, I think the dolls aren't what we are used to. So what we're used to is if you're as interested as I am, when are the highlights of any porn site you enter, you see a doll and you're like, what the fuck is this? And then, you know, you get into that weird part of Pornhub, right? Um, it doesn't really react, but maybe this one does. Maybe this one, because like if they're gonna charge you for that amount, it probably does have a certain, I wouldn't call it intelligence, but I would call it creepy creepiness to it. But
And they
um,
are creepy, make no mistake. Remember, there's a bunch of people in this world that have a phobia of dolls, things that look lifelike, but that are not all the way there. So that's why they're able to make movies about an innocent little Annabelle doll, right? That's just a doll. But because it was possessed by a demon, allegedly, then it makes for just seeing the doll itself is scary for some people. Um, and I knew it used to creep me out. It doesn't anymore. But I'm wondering if anyone is going to go in there, desperate as they are, and willing to face a fear, a phobia possibly, just to get off. Because the reason why these dolls exist and why they're gaining so much traction, even before the traction has technically begun, is because a lot of people are unhappy in marriages. They're unhappy with the societal norms that they get put into. And so what happens is, oh yeah, let's see that again.
what? What do you
See
want?
that noggin.
What? I like it, and it gets cool. Like this is a winter hat. This is like meant for mountain climbing and shit. Like this is super hot. I need to like take
No,
breaks.
no, you're wrong. That is super hot. That which
But
is on
thank you,
your head or the lack thereof.
thank you very
Has anyone
much.
rubbed your head yet?
Oh, of course they did, dude. They try like to find where the bald spots are because it gets softer, like smoother, and like and I have like a scar here because I fell and hit something as a child and there was a bleeding, which apparently is epic. Like I can turn that into a war story or something. I don't know. Like people keep bugging me to do that. I just fell as a kid, but whatever.
When I was a wee lad, I was shot by a BB gun. The back of my head, back of that noggin. No, man, it suits you. And I'm not just saying that because you look like a freshly circumcised dick. I mean that within reason.
Well, to be truthful, everybody had doubts when I told them I'm going bald. Like everybody was like, it may not really suit you. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to try it out. And then when I hit that razor and I came out and I started showing up to places, the second, like you need to have people adjust your face, when you have a mustache for a very long time and then you take it off, and people just find it weird until they get used to it. After people got used to it, everybody's like, never return the hair, right? Everybody except my mother. Funny enough, because my mother has racism against baldness. I find women in like older women, older married women in general, have like racism towards it for some reason. Like I have at least two aunties that do not allow. They're already bald because it's genetic in our family. They're already bald husbands who are 50 at this point, and baldness is so much they only have like weird lumps of hair here and there. To take those lumps of hairs off and actually make it look good, just for the racism. I don't get it.
It's because they don't want to see it in a young person. They feel it's unjustified. Their philosophy is you want to be bald so much, do what everyone else has to do and just wait it out.
Funny enough, yes. And one of the primary reasons I took the hair off was, well, everybody was looking at me like I had cancer because I had a bald spot, right? I have like an island developing over here, and I have a McDonald's sign developing here, right? So people start showing up and I'm talking, and then I make a joke about my bald head because that's what you do when you're in good company. You just make jokes, right? And self mockery is the one method to make people lighten up a bit, you know, because for some reason I have a very serious face. People have a hard time like getting loose with me, especially new people. So the way I loosen up is like a little bit of self mockery here and there. Helps out with getting people relaxed. And what they do after I make the joke is like, you know, they do hair plants in Turkey, right? With that face, right? Like the look of pity. And I'm like, dude, I'm going bald. I'm not fucking like I don't have like fucking asthma and I want to be a sportsman. You know? Like
You know, it's strange how you put that though, because in a way it reminds me of the shower argument. Have you heard this one where it's like, what, you know, young people, kids especially, they always do this. Well, why do I have to take a shower? I'm just gonna get dirty again. And it's like their reasoning skills are not to a respectable degree yet, but you respect at least the fact that they were able to be able to capture that truth at such an early age, because it makes sense, right? Like you're gonna get dirty again, so why shower? Why? And then like I've noticed parents kind of get stuck because they know they're right, but they're also not, because if you're not clean, you can't interact with anyone because no one will want to interact with you. An interesting dynamic.
well, from what I've seen, generally, at least, when it comes to this part, people just think like losing your hair is like similar to what do they call it? It's like a terminal disease, right? A lot of people think that way. It's genetic, sure, but like having hair on this part of your hand is not a terminal disease, especially since you can deal with it. Now, not if my face was not good bald, I would not have shaved. I would have planted hair and it would have been fine, right? But why perceive this not as another style instead of like a giving up move? Because that's what a lot of people who were against the getting bald thought of me as. It's like, oh, you're giving up on your hair. Why don't you get supplements? Supplements aren't half bad.
Why don't you
Like,
kill yourself? Just give up on your life, right?
like the look of disappointment on my mother's eyes when she saw it. It's just, dude, I love my mom. All right, I love her to death. But
But it's worth it. It's worth it to see that, right? The
yeah,
very first
yeah,
time. Oh, munch.
just like it reached the point where like everybody left. I was still eating my dinner because I woke up late, or lunch rather, because I woke up late, and my mom was like just cleaning up, and then with the second she realized everybody was gone, she looked at me. She was like, "Don't do that again."
And you're like, I have an appointment slated for next week, actually.
No, no, dude. I love using the razor. That's why I didn't wax it yet. But I'm gonna wax it eventually once the shaving gets tedious.
Do you do
And
it
it's gonna be
yourself?
not the first time because I wanted the dimensions of the beard to be right, especially here. I don't know where to stop, so I'm like, go to a barber. They know. So they did my hair the first time, but like it grew a little bit, and so I'm like, okay, let's see if I can do it at home. And I just took my regular razor that I used to shave with using my for my beard, and just applied it for a different use. And it's easier than people think, like shaving with a razor. Like a lot of people suck at it because they think you need to apply force, which you don't. You just like kind of rub it, just and let the razor do its work. It's sharp for a reason. But and so, like I remember, like I shaved right, and my dad looked at me and he's like, "You shaved with a razor?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Even I can't do that." And I'm like, "What do you mean you can't do that? Are you like what's wrong with people?"
No, it's very easy though when the hair is short. Like right now, if I tried to shave this beard, like I want to keep it at the stubble, right? It's
Mm.
very easy for me to come in every other day and just trim it down because there's nothing really to trim it down. You're too close to the skin. So it doesn't get too tedious. As soon as you get used to doing that, people believe that it becomes easier because it just becomes part of the routine. All it takes though is that 1 week where you just don't feel like doing shit, or where you just go on vacation and you feel like you're entitled to all the privileges in the world, including excluding yourself from having to shave. Then you come back home, you notice a beard. It looks good for a few more days, so that's why you keep it. Then eventually you decide, I want to go back. And you start trying to shave and you realize that it's too long and it's actually becoming irritating, and you ran out of shaving cream, and then it starts clogging the drain, and you realize that it's a chore. So better to continuously, in your case, keep
Yeah.
you know.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Whenever I have experience with this, because like before I didn't get to get like this a beard this thick. It took me like what 5 years before like like I'm a late bloomer when it comes to my beard. That's why I always shaved it off. And sometimes it gets too long and too ugly because there wasn't much of it. You know, when you have like a bunch of segregated like or random hairs just popping everywhere, it's just too ugly. If you don't, and if it gets that long, you don't actually use a razor first. You use a regular trimmer, whatever, like the mechanical one. And you just like trim it so it's small enough to be shaved. Usually like a zero, like either 0 or 1 like 0.1 or 1 millimeter. Is that it? Yeah, 1 millimeter, and then you use the razor. Um, I did not wait that long for this. Like the second, like I felt like it got too long, I took it off before it got hard. But if you let it pass for a while, just you have to use a trimmer first if you want it easy.
It's not
I don't know this.
it's not difficult to shave either. I'm tired of people claiming that it's such a hassle. Like shaving every day, such a pain. It's like, dude, when you compare what a guy has to do every morning to what a girl has to do every morning, and I hate to play the gender card, but come on, don't even try to complain. Like, you could be a woman and just all you have to do is wake up and keep the beard short.
Oh,
How
dude.
much of a first world problem can you get?
Oh, dude. You want a disaster? We have classes in college at 8 a.m., which is horrible. Why would somebody wake at 8 a.m.? It's horrendous, right?
No, so why would
So
anybody wake at 7 a.m. to then have to drive for an 8 a.m.? It's
I know, right? And Kuwait is crowded at that time because everybody's going to their jobs, right? The worst time ever. So actually, you need to wake up at 6, and maximum you need to be out of your house by 6:30, right? So you show up early, but if you wait until 7, you will not show up in time. It's that simple. And you go there, you enter the class, you look to your left, and you see a female, a woman, you know, and that woman, fully combed hair, full makeup, very complicated dress, right? Just sitting there. And I'm like, when did you wake up? I literally woke up and did not even eat, did not even wash my face. I just put, sometimes I wear my clothes, go to bed. So when I wake up, I just grab my bag.
oh, you're one of
Sometimes I leave
those.
my bag, and yeah, like 6 a.m. is a death for me. So when I drive there barely alive, you know, and then I see this bitch, right? Why? How? When? Did you wake up at 5? Did you wake up at 4? I like I resist the urge every class to walk up to one of the gals and I'm like, when do you wake up? Because this isn't natural.
It's not
Do you have a
no.
hairdresser at home? What do you do here? What?
There's some girls that I have been told they take 2 hours to get ready. And that's not an exaggeration. Like when people make that joke, that distinction, I would be willing to claim that they're more serious a majority of the time. Uh, Being a girl from the what I would call the beauty standpoint is a more difficult endeavor than what the guy's alternative is. I don't care who you bring me to debate that, unless it's a gay, then yeah, like you're not gonna, the average dude is not gonna be on par with the average chick, beauty wise. So it's other categories clearly open to interpretation and discussion, but I never want to hear one of these fucks come up to me and like, I had to wake up at 7:30. Dude, there are people who live on campus of my school and they come in just like they didn't even wash themselves. They didn't even do an evening shower. You can tell, you can smell it too. They just drag themselves like zombies. I had to wake up so I'm so tired. And you want to know why girls are always so high and preppy and, bubbly in the morning? Is because they have to wake up early. They take the showers early. That wakes them up. They're ready to go. That's another reason why they're dead by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because they done lived what they need to live that day and did what they need to do. And there, it's interesting because Gavin McInnes, a conservative commentator, he made a point about this where he's like, a guy's time to shine is never in the morning. It's a woman's time to shine. And that's why women are so great with the kids, especially early in the morning. Then the kids go off to school, the women do everything they need to do, but by the afternoon they're pooped, right? Maybe they did chores, or maybe they did errands, or maybe they went to work as well, whatever the case may be. Anyway, then the guys come back, and throughout the day, the middle of the day, the afternoon is when they're making deals, when they're making moves, when they're filling out paperwork or plans. And then they come home and they're pooped, but they still have some more energy. You see the distinction? Nature's beautiful.
However, I would disagree on one thing. You see, my sister, at least like maybe it's just engineering. My sister, she's the eldest of the family, of the siblings, and on her first college year, she was excited, right? Because we wear uniforms in high school, so no more uniform. I get to wear whatever I want. So, she picked out her dresses. She dressed. We're a light makeup family, so we don't put much makeup. Like we've been taught on this, and my sister wears the hijab, so that she wore it, right? But like fancy stuff, colorful, very, very, like, she worked on herself, and then she went to class. 1 year after, actually, if memory serves, 6 months after, so maybe 1 course or 2 courses, depending, like in the middle of the second course, she switched to the infamous black female dress, like that the conservative Muslims and the jealous husbands force their wives to wear here. And when you ask her why, it's like, because it's too inconvenient to actually do all this work. I prefer sleep than looking beautiful or looking like urban and shit. I just want to get through the day.
We're all humans. We all have our needs, and sorry to say that while men and women are different, the one category where they're not is the need for sleep. And it's the first few weeks you always want to look good, right? You start this because everyone has this mentality at the start of the year, start of a semester, for example. They're like, I'm gonna do well, like I'm gonna keep on top of my classes, I'm gonna whatever it may be. It never works out, but they try to convince themselves that they're gonna be better, that they're gonna be on top of things, and the way they do so, the way they remedy it, is by dressing up, essentially, because it's in that way that it enforces the fact that they're trying. And if you're trying, that gives you the compatibility to think, with your mind, as opposed to like a just tired, sleepless hearts. Just I can't. Somebody in the comments said, I used to wake up 10 minutes before class every morning. Yeah, people like you are the ones that disgust me. 10 minutes is not enough time to wake up. It's hardly enough time to walk to class. You're probably that dude that like you woke up 10 minutes before class, but you arrived 10 minutes after class started, right? And at that point, you're not only the guy, the zombie that's walking in with like the forward moonwalk, but you're also the dude that disrupts the entire it takes 10 minutes to get a class engaged, and then this asshole walks in and everyone just gets distracted. What happened? Oh shit, we don't have to pay attention anymore because this dude walks in. Everybody watches him as he slowly jives over to his seat, sits down. It's never a subtle seat either. It's one of those pulls off the backpack, that drops to the floor. Of course, everything's a show. Everyone has to watch you. You're right. You were that guy. You were that guy, Mister. I woke up 10 minutes before class and I'm proud of it. Right? Even the teacher gets distracted because he has to wait for you to stop making the fucking noise in order to continue the lecture. You were that guy? You were that guy? You wanna, huh?
Well, let me tell you a story. This is beautiful. So what, like, I'm the guy who shows up always 10 minutes before class, sits in the front, and just like listens to music or something, like prepping, like a guy who's hyping himself up for the class, right? The instructor shows up and he starts explaining, and whatever he's doing, I'm always taking notes, right? I'm the notes guy, and I pay attention. I'm always looking at the teacher and everything. And then when the exam shows up and when he pulls up my exam sheet, looks at me, looks at it, and when they do the fold, you did bad. So he does the fold and gives it to me, and then I take it with pride, right? That I broke his expectations, and I just sit down happily, because the only studying I ever do is in the lecture. I don't study after, and if I study after, it's 1 hour before the exam. So that's literally the only time I can give the class, which is why I pay attention in it. And it's beautiful every single time. Like that first time with the expectations breaks, I thought you were the one. I thought you were the guy, who's gonna top it, ace it quietly. That quiet, hardworking student. But nope.
No, I'm tempted to do that now. Show up from the very first day, front and center. Take a lot of vigorous notes, ask a lot of compelling questions. Be that guy. Try to get the rest of the class involved, huh? Ask a question rhetorically for the teacher, and then invite everyone else to answer. Like, well, what do you guys think, right? Right. And then be that guy, and the teacher, oh, this person cares. Sit up straight, do this little fucking gay Buddha pose on the desk. Do that. Then the first exam rolls around. Don't even answer a single question. just sit there and pretend like you're pondering it, like you're pondering an answer, and just do that for 2 hours. Spend a couple hours with your own thoughts. It's useful. Maybe start doodling, like pretending like you're writing shit down. Then just walk over, hand him the picture of a sailboat that you drew. But put it on the last page so he doesn't see it right away. He's like, oh, first one. Try to be the first one done, too. That's always beautiful. Right, be the guy that's confident, chest held high, walking out the class. As you leave, turn around, give the teacher a little wink, and be on your way. A week later, when you get the exam back, man, that's a show.
Dude, the best part about doing this, it's not just the faces, dude. People came up to me in my 5th year. I'm in my 5th year, right? And people came up to me, like, who found me in later classes, and we started exchanging tips, because that's what failed students do. They exchange tips, right? And I remember every single one of them telling me, dude, on your first years, we thought you were a straight A student. How the fuck do you have a 2.0? We thought like you're the guy who's going for this PhD, right? What the fuck is going on here? And I'm like, no. Here's how you do engineering properly. And I always say this: the way you do engineering properly is like the Bill Gates method, but only amplified. What you do is you show up not knowing shit, except like fragments, And what you do is you try to like put it together in the middle of the exam, because like you're too lazy to do it anytime else. Because like when I'm in crisis mode, I function better, right? So I just go in crisis mode, and I always make it to like C. Or but I love seeing D in my last grade. I'm so used to it, right? Getting D. I'm like, I'm in love with the college D, as I always like to say. And when you tell people like, what's my GPA? And they tell you, oh, I don't know, 3.1, 2.8. And I tell them a straight two. And they were like, how? And I'm like, there is an art to passing college with a 2.0. You guys do not understand it. You need to min max it. You need to be like on God level in order to do a minimum amount of work and still figure out a way to gain the grade necessary in that particular class to keep your 2.0 and never go below it. I never went below. I take pride in that. Like that's true engineering right there, because engineering is the lazy man's science.
Well, math is the lazy man's. Every math teacher I've had, advanced or otherwise, has given me some rendition of this saying. Math is the lazy man's subject. And yes, but no. Like
Dude,
it's yeah.
do you want to know how advanced my I wouldn't call it guessing, I would call it inferring, because that's the art, which is like you look at the question, and because you've been there so much and you've been in this like lack of care slash preparation, you kind of put like the question together. I think I see the trick in this question. I need this number to plug it in with this law and the law sheet, and maybe I get the right number. And you always get it half right. But when I realized that I became a genius at this is when I took my media class, and I did not study for literally nothing. I didn't study at all. I just showed up to class. I was one of the class's favorites because I always like dig at the feminist teachers like soft spots. I keep annoying her. And what happened, the brilliant thing is I didn't study a single thing, and I got an A minus, right? Not because I was knowledgeable, not because the subject was easy, but because the inferring game was so strong. I figured out the answers by the pattern of the question. This looks like this type of question in my head. Usually the answer is this one and not that one, because that one is the trick. That's what you're supposed to tick on. So I tick on the other one. And I remember like the teacher used one of the scanner things, like in modern day, they just like give you a multiple choice, and then they scan it like on their phone, and they give you your grade. And I remember she was like, oh, her face is like, let's see how you'll fuck this up, right? That was her face, right? Because she knows what I am. Like, I don't pay attention in class. I'm like this, right? Looking at the sky because they're talking about like feminist shit, the matrix of domination or whatever. And then she scans my paper, and I get out of 100, I get like 90 because I got two questions wrong, right? And then she looks at me and she's like, oh, good job, right? Because like there's no other emotion that can happen. Like compliments, please go away, right?
But don't take too much credit for that. I know the way your brain works in those type of situations. It's but the easiest thing about those media classes, and really all feminist dogma, is that because it's so predictable, the answers essentially write themselves in your head, because it's kind of like you take something stupid and you think of the most hyperbolic way to enhance it, and that's the answer. So it's like the question will be, how can wars stop being fought in the world? Very broad question without an answer, really. And if you're in that sort of class, you can bet your ass one of the answers is going to be some rendition of women need to obtain more power. And it's like, yep, of course, not the people that built this entire world. No, the people that I mean, we've suppressed them. right? Like we've done terrible things to women. That's fine. Now they're power hungry. They want revenge, man. Okay, I'm convinced. I don't
Dude,
think we're gonna
dude,
let them have revenge unless we live in that bad of a patriarchy. We don't live in a patriarchy though, so there's that. But you know what I mean?
dude.
Like it's you have
Yes,
something, and it's just what have I seen in all the meme compilations? Oh, that's the answer.
dude. The only people who hold as much of a grudge for oppression as women are the Jews, and that's pretty much it, right? Even black people didn't go that far. But that's besides the point. What I want to address a comment, Sultan X. He asked the question: is college even worth it? And that's an interesting topic because if you're in the States and you can't afford it and you need to take a loan, fuck no. But if you have the funds and there's a major you're interested in and you want to get advanced on, I always say go for it. But otherwise, no, not in the US at least. We get free education here. So I literally just have to show up and they pay me to get educated. Like, who cares? That's why I took it. But like, if you have to pay for it, much more like get loans that you have to pay off for the rest of your life. No, fuck no.
I will
Become
say
a
this
fucking McDonald's worker is better.
to
It's
answer this
liberating.
question. Yeah, at least one is going to be putting money in your bank account sooner. Oh, but the college degree is worth so much more. Depends on the major. There's an interesting piece. Not sure if any of you are familiar with the Dave Ramsey podcast, but he is a what many would call a financial guru, whatever the fuck that is. But he's good with money, and a lot of people are good with money. But he has a show about it, so right. Anyway, he has a piece that's pretty common senseful, but the only reason he is so lauded for it is because a lot of people overlook this element, and it's if you don't have the resources to do something, don't do it yet. So I respect people that want to go to school, but they're willing to put in the work for a couple of years working at McDonald's because there's no shame there. I mean, we heard about Jeffrey Owens, the Bill Cosby star that was recently shamed for bagging groceries just to make ends meet. And it's like we're getting now to a point where we're shaming people for working, and whatever the end game may be, whether to support your family or your ambitions, I don't think it should go against anyone's standards of how they need to come to that conclusion. But he also mentions an interesting point that I agree with very much is college is only worth it if the major is worth it. Which in this day and
Yeah,
age, I
that's fair
would
enough.
I would propose is that unless you're getting involved in a STEM field or one of the mainstream humanities, it's probably not as worth it as you think. So the STEM fields, they speak for themselves: science, engineering, anything to do with medicine, biology, and anything in that realm. I highly encourage it. The popular mainstream humanities, such as communications and psychology, uh, also English to a lesser degree, but I would still throw it in that group. Those are still okay. But what we're realizing now is that a lot of people are unhappy because they picked a major that clearly was not for them. It was not for anyone because it wasn't for the world. There is a college, I need to look this up in order to confirm it, that I read has a major in pop culture. I wish I was making that up.
Pop
There,
culture.
yeah,
What?
and right, it's one of those things. It's a subject that interests you. Like I want to know that it exists, so that's why I'll take it for that reason and that reason alone. Like I want to know what can they teach about pop culture.
That sounds like a subdivision of anthropology, and I hope it is, because if it is, it means that guy got trained in anthropology but is focused on the anthropology of pop culture. That would make sense. But if it's just pop culture, then it's as irrelevant as women's studies.
No, no, no. You know for a fact it's one of those pointless media classes. See, let me explain. Oh, by the way, business Business is another good field. It's very broad. Communications and business are probably the two broadest fields and the best two that go together. Every counselor in the world, every school advisor that you ever meet will recommend one of those two or those two together. They work perfectly. You can get your foot in the door in a ton of places with those because they're so broad. You want broad majors, but the thing with business is that it really doesn't fall in a STEM or a humanities. And that's hence why it's one of the most impacted and popular majors in the world. But if your major is not broad, I guess I'll say this, then you don't initially want to get involved in it. If you want to get into specifics, you learn the rules before you can break them, or more specifically, before you can learn the ins and outs of those rules.
Yeah, I can agree. Actually, if you tell me now, if you go back, what would you get? What major would you enter? Would it be? I wouldn't choose engineering, to be honest. I merely chose it because it will fund my other projects. But now I realize that, like, I can fund it with any job, not just like engineering in particular. I would actually go back and honestly just take anthropology because I already do everything that the anthropologists do. Like, I'm that guy who like randomly shows up in a cafe and just looks at people and find that entertaining. And that's what anthropologists are. They like that's their startup, because I have a friend and he's in anthropology, and I actually put that interview in my channel. He chose me as the primary interviewer for his anthropology project, which was about um, an outsider's view of a tabletop game store, right? And I gave him my input on that store in particular. But the idea is, like, whenever I talk to him and he's like, dude, you are like, you have an anthropologist running through your veins. You don't even need training. All you need to know is how to make the anthropology book. You're already great at this. And that sounds like a major I would have enjoyed very much, honestly, because like you can, as an anthropologist, you can sub branch into literally anything. Like, my friend is planning on getting an anthropology degree and having his like PhD research being the anthropology of memes on the internet, because he thinks that topic is very interesting and has not been covered, because it's a movement that's been going on, and he of all people has an insider's point of view.
There's another thing is there pick a major that has history behind it. And what I mean by that is you want to stick with a major that has had some sort of historical context and some sort of historical actually not necessarily historical, but that has been relevant in the past, right? Like, it doesn't have to be some big thing, but come on, anthropologists, they study the history of us, of people. That's helpful, and people are always looking to know where they come from. Um, Somebody mentioned it in the comments. You know, don't so much follow business, but entrepreneurship. Well, entrepreneurship is another one of those. I would actually define it more as a humanities, which is fine. But right, if you study business, then some people don't want the entrepreneurship. So pick something that has a history behind it, right? Like, that's always going to be in demand, just to be safe. We're always going to need engineers. We're always going to need teachers. We're always going to need scientists. I guess in business, we're always going to need human resources, but they're fucking useless. So it's depends who you ask, man.
And let us introduce our guest. Everybody say hi to another one of my friends. He's referred to as the hairy babushka. You can call him just babushka. He is our Slavic terrorist. Say hi, please.
Hello.
Oh my, what was that? Did anybody else hear that?
Yes.
Was that the voice of
Yes.
God?
Yes.
Oh, that's a
Like
voice changer. I forgot it. Okay. That's a good start.
I've never heard an echo that strong.
Dude, babushka is infamous in our place, like, for showing up in streams and just soundboarding and random voice chats on Discord and just soundboarding and just like just like making the sitting way more fun. Like he usually
Well,
sits in the background and waits for an opportunity, but today he gets the spotlight.
yeah, but it gives you a, meme effect. Like, it gives you that spice. And it makes anything stupid, 10 times more funnier. If you're good at it, of course.
Are you a meme expert?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I make some memes, but, sometimes I like some meme skills. Just
No,
don't
no,
catch
no.
up to some new memes.
Don't let him
No,
fool
because
you.
look, I happen to know my way around a meme as well. Just not bragging, but
No, no,
I
no.
know my
Don't let him
meme
fool
game
you.
as well.
Louis, don't fall for it. That guy enters meme wars. All right? Don't let him fool you.
Oh,
That
no.
guy is scary.
He's trying to be humble, like Kendrick Lamar taught him. Right?
Don't give me the Kendrick Lamar humble meme, please.
Actually, let me ask you because let me ask you your opinion on this because one of the all-time meme gods that the world has ever seen, Alex Jones, was recently silenced from essentially being a meme for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
How do you, a memeologist, feel about this?
It's a bummer. Dude, it's a bummer. Alex Jones was just, over the
It's just
top.
a bummer. It sucks, man. It's just
Yeah. He did a really great job. But since every place blocked him, I'm just sad. There's nothing new about Alex Jones now. He just disappeared.
It's a sad day for the internet.
It is a sad day for the internet. That guy was easily top 3 in my list on top 3 legendary memes next to Drake and possibly Donald Trump.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Now, Babushka, you being a gamer who's way more advanced than me, who actually knows tech stuff, Louis here just got a PS4.
Oh, you spoiled the surprise.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no. What have you done?
I didn't get an Xbox. That's what I did. I turned to the dark side. Literally, the PlayStation is only sold in black, at least at the store I went to.
Well, props to you. You picked a PS4. No offense to Xbox players, but still, console peasants. No.
Oh, here we go. Another one of these PC is the superior race, faggots.
Hey. I originated as a console peasant and moved on to the PC. That's what happened. But still, there are some PS4, Sony has good exclusives, but at the same time, it's just disappointing that they have exclusives. At the same time, they have really good, still really good exclusives, including the Uncharted franchise, which Xbox is, challenging them with some other games like Forza and Tomb Raider or some shit.
Halo. Is Halo good? Is Halo good anymore? I don't. It kind of dropped for me after Reach.
Dude, Bungie was so dead. They killed Halo and is killing Destiny. I played Destiny for years. I was a virgin for years. I went obese. I went depressed, and this game was shit.
Destiny got old pretty fast, I heard. It's one of those I call games that get very popular very quick. Now I call them as the Call of Duty effect. Because then they start a franchise, right? And there's a franchise that carries over and everybody follows that franchise now. And it gets old very, very quick. And we see that with Fortnite now. That's probably gonna turn into its own series.
Hopefully, I wish. Because Instagram and Snapchat is just Fortnite. Seriously, people, give us more ideas. Give us ideas other than Fortnite. God damn it.
You don't like the memes of Fortnite? Those are everywhere.
No, Louis, please don't. No,
I am encouraging the dragon here, Trillion.
dude, dude. Did you see how triggered he got when you showed him the Spider-Man?
Which
Isn't that enough? Haven't you punished him enough?
You want to know what'll really punish him? I was telling Trillion this before the stream. When I went to pick up the PS4 today at the store, I was trying to make a decision between Spider-Man and NBA 2K19. Now, if you want to talk about a game franchise that is absolute crap, that does not evolve whatsoever other than graphics, which at this point it's everyone has a good graphics, right? And that's NBA 2K. And I was trying to decide, and I asked the clerk, so what do you suggest out of the two? And he whispers over the counter with a very seductive voice, Spider-Man, man. You gotta get Spider-Man. It's the PlayStation game of the year.
No.
And it was because of that sexy voice that I bought this sexy son of a bitch. True story.
Dude, the best Spider-Man was Spider-Man 3 on the PS2.
Do you think PS2 is the best game console ever?
Yes.
I've heard that. Okay. I somewhat agree with you. I would have to say the 360's probably in that discussion as well.
No, never.
But I'm trying to play both sides here, man. Trying to keep the fans happy. We know there's a bunch of Xboxers here.
No, Louis, you have to understand. The PS4, the PS2 rather, being the best console ever, is no longer an opinion. It's a fact that cannot be disputed. It's like denying the Holocaust, you know? Like you cannot say that the PS2 had any match to it.
Yes,
it was
because
that legendary.
Yes, because that's the best analogy you could have come up for that.
Yes.
You know,
There
the
should
interesting
be laws banning people.
But I think and I fall victim to this as well. I think the PlayStation suffers from the nostalgia treatment and people claiming it's the best. Like people who claim Modern Warfare 2 is the best game ever. Like I claim it's my favorite game ever because it's the most nostalgic to me. But there are people that claim it's the best game ever because of the influence it had, right? And the revolution it brought. That was the time to be a 12-year-old talking shit about people's mothers online.
No.
Since Xbox was the first to make an online multiplayer game, which is Halo, you know, they made this squeaker community. Like, you know, they give the squeaker community some power to just release their their bullshit into the world, which isn't bad at that time, but yeah, that happened.
For the uneducated, squeakers are the children who squeak at the mic whenever they get killed at FPSs.
Yeah, they still play Fortnite, by the way.
Yeah, like people who have class tend to go to divert away from games with squeakers in it, which is why there's so much hate, at least from us, coming at Fortnite. Like maybe it's a fun game, but they have squeakers.
Trust me, it's not a fun game. I had 2 hours on this game, and it was the worst 2 hours of my life.
People with class actually have a tendency to mute their mics for good reason. You don't need to hear that trash anymore.
Yeah, I did that playing Rainbow Six Siege at Dwania. Ali witnessed that, or Trillion.
Now, if you want to show, if you want to make a video compilation, then have at it. By all means, you should record all of the audio because you will get a ton of crazy things captured.
Mm-hmm.
I think online gaming is a social experiment.
Well, there is actually social experiments in Fortnite now, which is double the AIDS.
Double the AIDS?
No. Like what I love about this age, at least at this age, not before, it's that strategy games, actual strategy games, or historical simulators are actually picking up steam. And
Yes.
now it's like cool to play these games when before you're a nerd for playing them. So like I wish I could like more people got in these like historical simulators, because not only do you need to know what you're doing to play the game, you actually get some benefit, you get some historical knowledge, you get some idea of how difficult it is to run a country, stuff like that.
Yes, it's become a more
Wow.
respectable medium and craft.
But the reason, and that's a conspiracy theory, the reason Fortnite and games like these are popular is because the US Army is going to train the future generation for the drone warfares. The
Yeah,
drone
they're
warfare is
gonna
going to be
control
fun.
drones with fucking controllers, dude.
Yes.
Prime shit.
That's nothing
Yes.
new though. People have been saying that since Battlefield, right? It's like this is a game that glorifies war, and it's gonna make people want to go into war. Isn't that what all the single white ladies with the bowl cuts were saying? You know, protect the children. Like, dude, okay, your son is 10 years old playing a game that is 8 years out of his league, technically, by definition, right? And, you know, why is he's going to be exposed to some dick jokes at the very least. He's going to learn some things that he wouldn't otherwise learn in his 5th grade class. It comes with the territory. The most ironic part is it was always the parents that bought the consoles, right? Then they didn't know what happened. They didn't know, why is he always in his room yelling at other players?
No, I got a question, because I don't really look up anything, if that makes any sense. Like I don't like have gaming channels that update me on what happens in gaming or anything like that. Like
Oh,
I
no
get
one,
all
no
my
one does that.
information. Well,
No.
I always get my information secondhand, whether it be politics or whatever. And if I get interested in the secondhand knowledge, I look it up. And my question here is, now I know Xbox doesn't have any interesting exclusives, but besides exclusives aside, what games would you recommend that are on the PS4 for Louis? And keep in mind, Louis is a gamer who only played like 3 games his entire life or something, and he wants to get into gaming.
Watch out.
No,
Really.
no, I want you to start easy. I don't want to bloodborne you in your second game. All right, like I need some good recommendations here. So
Listen,
like,
just to reinforce the filthy casual that I am, I might as well go ahead and confess. I already pre-ordered Black Ops 4.
oh, go die, Louis. Oh, like, see what you did. See what you did. Now we don't have a guest
It's the
anymore.
most popular franchise of all time.
No! No!
I want to play the beta. I'm trying to get into stuff I know. Okay.
No,
No!
Louis, you can't. No, you can't do this, Louis. Louis, listen. Rule number 1 in gaming: never pre-order anything. That's like the rule number 1. Like, if you pre-order,
Trillion.
you're gonna lose.
Every Call of Duty game is literally identical with how they handle it. They have a beta that's about a month long. They get everything patched up within that month, and that's just it. They never fix anything else throughout the rest of their run. Have you noticed that about Call of Duty games? They suck over time for a reason, because they never fix anything.
Do you know what's just fucking pathetic and funny?
Me? Yeah, I
No,
realized that
no,
a
no,
long
no,
time
no, no,
ago.
no, 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 dude. Black Ops 4 has a battle royale mode.
Why do you think I got it?
Dude, and guess what? The map combines all of the Black Ops 2 maps together. Has the city of Nuketown and the biggest map of this, battle royale bullshit. Next year they're gonna release fucking Sims Battle Royale. God damn it. Like, why?
Uh, Louis, Louis, for that confession, I'll have to put you on the Danny team, right next to his six whatever mage guy, six samurai whatever,
The guy that
and
will
all of these bunch.
intellectually destroy you.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
god.
bitch. Yeah, yeah, that thing. Like I'm gonna put you in that group and just like close on you all and just put you on the side
Listen,
because
Trillion, don't even try to act like you're better than the most mainstream, filthy, casual game out there. Okay, we all have to take a bite of that shit sandwich eventually. You will
no,
play it, and you know you will like it
no,
for a little bit.
no, Louis, listen. I ordered Black Ops 2, or rather, I played it because well, I had like that's all I knew on the PS3, and I wanted to play with my friends, and that's what they played. So I'm like, okay, let's get Black Ops 2. I got so bored with it, I would listen to podcasts, and I need a mindless activity to like waste my time on. So what I do is I open up like the practice mode and just put the bots on the lowest level, and I would just kill them because that's the only way the game can be fun. If I can't, if like otherwise, it's just boring. Like this is what like if you expect Modern Warfare 2 fun back, you're not gonna get it. The only good Call of Duty game was World at War.
Oh yeah.
Like that one was great, but the rest are just arcade shooters pretending to have real guns.
Did you just say World at War is the best Call of Duty game?
We're classic.
You know, we all have opinions. You know, Trillion,
About the Call of Duty new shit, I'm just first to talk about it. Give me a second.
I respect your opinion, Trillion.
No, Louis, you have to understand. You have to understand.
You have to understand World of War was the biggest dumpster fire, arguably, in all of gaming for that decade.
And you have to understand why you're wrong.
But it's historical context, right? Right? It's that people liked it because it was accurate, right? That's what I kept hearing is that it's an accurate game, whatever that means. It's like it tells a story the way it should be told. Like I don't know what you're on, but COD 4 is the best Call of Duty game. It always has been.
No.
It's solidified. That's always been the standard. Come on.
No.
The most
listen.
hardcore gamers can. This is the one thing every gamer can agree on.
Dude, here's the thing. I know that's what you've been exposed to, Louis, and I'm sorry. But if you say that, like, if we're debating Call of Duty and saying best and worst, and that's the extent of our debate, and we call ourselves gamers, we should feel ashamed. Because,
Okay, I'll take your word for that. We shouldn't call ourselves gamers, that's for sure.
I can call myself a gamer, I guess. Not a very good one, but like if you haven't played a platformer in your life, that's like you need to open up.
Look,
Like,
Trillion,
I
chill
had
out,
my-
okay? I've played the
What?
Mario games.
You have ew.
You are disrespecting everything that matters in this stream, aren't you, my friend?
Dude, here's my problem with a Mario game. It's the same fucking game every time.
So is 2K. So is So is so many games out there.
Yes, and we shouldn't encourage it. And you just did with that stupid pre-order, you fucking peasant.
No, because look, it's different for me. Okay, I have been away from gaming for 2.5 years. Okay, and I haven't played a Call of Duty game since Modern Warfare 3. I don't even think I played Black Ops 2.
Well, okay, I'm gonna start you off slow, Louis. We're gonna train you slowly, the way I was trained slowly by my peers, and and we're gonna give you some taste. You know, it's like when a guy like ate fried chicken his whole life and he wants to become a meat connoisseur. So we have to start you slow. All right.
All right,
It's
well,
okay.
just promise to use some lube. All right.
Oh, we will. We will.
High quality Vaseline. I'm a I'm not a virgin when it comes to these sort of things, but I've been away from the game for a long time. No pun intended.
Dude, you got the comment section so triggered.
Oh
with
yeah,
your-
let's look at the comments. I'm sure all of these intellectuals will surely have opinions about what are they saying? Like, I don't know where to start. Okay, yeah. Yeah, is it the typical like Xbox versus PS4 versus now computer
No,
or
everybody's
PC
called
debate?
you stupid for pre-ordering.
No,
It's like the most. Oh God! Like, why?
no, Trillion. You don't understand. Okay, I have to take my lumps. I have to learn the hard way.
Yes. Okay. You know what? Points to you. Okay. Since you said that word, I fully respect that. You know why? Because I learned everything the hard way. Same as you. I didn't pre-order anything, but I pre-ordered The Witcher 3 actually, but only because by pre-ordering you get The Witcher 2 and 1 with the bundle. So I'm like, I'm gonna play The Witcher 3. I might as well pre-order them and get them all on PC. But so that was a smarter move. But I learned the hard way, same as you. You know, I was that guy who would show up, point to the game, pay $60 for it, and realize that shit. Like I did my time. So maybe you need to do yours as well. It's fine.
Every
Okay,
game
since
turns to shit after 3 months. Okay, especially
No,
the
no, not
multiplayer
every-
games.
Actually, I would disagree on one thing. Um, Multiplayer's game to me are a very delicate thing. I'm not very good at critiquing them, but like they're a delicate thing. How do you make people come back in a multiplayer game? Because I know they don't interest me, and what I realized is the only way you can get them to come back is to create such an interesting experience that it is hard to repeat the same game session. I.e., every game session is so unique, you want to come back to get a new experience. Can you support this, Babushka?
That's why there's a game called Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six
Please tell
Siege.
us about. Please tell us
Ah.
about this game.
Yes, please, because I presume everyone is judging me here.
Yes.
Rainbow Six Siege. Every like 4 months or 3 months, they release a new season with new operators and maybe change maps or bug fixes, which is not a thing actually by Ubisoft. I'm sorry, Ubisoft, but yeah, it's true. What's funny about Rainbow Six Siege? They released an operation called Operation Health, which focused on bug fixes and nerfing some operators, which actually didn't work. As soon as the operation started, the game became the buggiest at its time. But about the game is there's those two teams, which is attackers and defenders. So the attackers have some operators which are in every part of the world, which is the KGB Spetsnaz, the FBI, the SWAT team, the SAS, which is from Britain or England, whatever, and has some G9, German, French, whatever. So every operation they focus on a country and release some operators from this country, which is the BOPE from Brazil, or an example, some operators from Canada, which are really good. I mean, a player called Buck, which his ability is just he has a rifle and a shotgun under the barrel, which focuses on just rushing into the objective and breaching. The game has a lot of collisions. The windows just explode with the breach charges. Some bullets have different calibers, so you can use the bullets to just breach in, or just use this high power, depending on the damage of the weapon, just to kill the other operators. uh, as the attacker, of course. But for the defenders, you just sit in the objective, barricade everything, defend the objective. It's a strategy game, but you don't rely on the strategy. You just gain experience from playing or knowing what the other operators do, because every game is different. There's no meta in this game whatsoever. Sometimes there are metas at the beginning of operations, but it just dies out fast, which is really good. It didn't turn out like Overwatch, which focused on just meta, which makes you bored. And the community is really good, like really, really good. They support the game. The game was nothing; it became something after 3 years of support. And
what's wrong with
that's basically
Overwatch?
What's right with Overwatch?
I'm joking. I never played Overwatch in my life, man. It was too perfect.
Dude, Overwatch. Don't let me get started on Overwatch.
No, please do.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure, there's a lot of closeted Overwatch players. See, everyone likes to act like they're better than a game in the comment section. Call of Duty. I would never. Shut up. You're going to cop it like everyone else day one. Fanboys.
No,
they all
no, we're not.
probably
Fuck you.
They all probably played Overwatch. They have a lot to say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Roast Overwatch. It's no skin off my bones.
I played Overwatch for like 150 hours at least, which made me get sick from the game from how much toxic the players are.
Yeah.
Like they rely on the meta so much. Sometimes when you pick a character, they would just diss you. They won't support you on the game. They would sometimes just ignore you if you want some support from other players, which you really rely on to win the game. Also, the community is just shit, filled with feminists, SJWs.
Dude,
Fucking
dude.
like imagine everything in this game.
Dude, I never played Overwatch, but I gave up on it very quickly for one reason. Because when they designed Overwatch, the concept was that it was going to be the new Team Fortress 2, and it's going to be like they're going to have characters that are diverse and all over the place with interesting plot lines. Now, this is what clicked with my brain. Interesting plot lines. I'm like, ooh, I like games with good lore and story. In fact, that's what gets me interested in games. That's why it's very hard for me to get into games, because most of them are badly written. I need to care in order to play. So I'm like, all right, let's see what they're about. So I click on, what's her name? That bitch, Tracer? Yeah, Tracer.
Oh my god.
So
Is that the main girl?
yeah, the lesbian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the funniest thing about her is that they said she was a lesbian, but the internet disagrees.
Wait, what? How does that work?
Dude, the amount of porn generated for Tracer in particular is so big. Like, Blizzard had to like tackle that shit. Like, they had to tone it down. They had to tell people, hey, please stop. This is too much. That's why the internet disagreed, but that's besides the point.
That's why the internet made more of it.
Yeah, of course. Don't
press the red
right?
button. Yes, I'm gonna press the red button.
And what happened was, I looked it up, and I looked up her backstory, and her ability in game is that, like, if you get stuck in a spot because she's very speedy but low on health, she has time manipulation, so she can kind of reverse time and pull back very quickly. But the game is still ongoing, but she just pulls back, and the idea is
That's called deja vu.
Yeah, something like that. And her backstory, I looked up the video, and basically she got stuck in a time machine, which put her in a time loop or something like that. And now you're playing with her. And they didn't explain how she got out of the time loop or anything. They just told you that's her backstory, right? And then I just sat there confused. And I'm like, okay, then how did she get out? How are we playing with her if she's stuck in the time loop still? Like, did they make a device that regulates this? Can you give me this at least? like some Deus Ex Machina that made her work. Nope, not even a Deus Ex Machina, right? Like it's one
Why
thing
did you
to
look this up? Is my
because I
question.
need
The
because I need
community
to be
itself,
interested.
you couldn't assure yourself that you wouldn't like the answer. Just observing everything that you did about the game, you know, you saw the internet and what it did to it, and you're just sitting there like, I have to know. I have to know the backstory. That it hurt you that much. You knew
No,
what was gonna happen.
dude, I looked up everybody's backstories, like all the characters. I did, and I'm like, first one on the list was Tracer, and I'm like, okay, Tracer first. I made it through three of them, and then I stopped. It was too much. Nothing made sense. And I'm like, really? You worked so hard on the characters that none of them make sense? Fuck all of you, and fuck your plot, and fuck everybody who supported this game because it's so diverse. Because I do not support crap. If you're not gonna work on your game, on the lore, I know not a lot of people care about the lore, but you need to understand. Just because people don't see those trees in the background of the art shot or because people don't notice like um, how good the desk looks in a room they enter in a game doesn't mean the desk doesn't have to look good. That's called polish, and it needs to happen.
Yes, and all of the scenery is a collective effort, correct? So what people don't notice, they really do notice, but it's just if it blends in beautifully, then that's what they're looking for. But they just don't know it, right?
Well, yeah, and no, it's not only that. It's like Blizzard has a history of making crap games anyway. I don't know why people expected this to get any better. Like,
Don't offend the WoW players. Blizzard is, mainly focusing on some virgins that play games, and they would go so hard on it. For example, let me analyze the components of Overwatch. Horny teenager writing, and some, throw some fucking Disney graphics for the trailers and the playstyle, which is, kind of cartoonish, cute. Then they ruined it for making a lot of porn. Check out Pornhub, like it's filled with this bullshit. They have like hundreds of videos, and they try to fix every character to stop making this porn. For example, what Trulin said, which is Tracer being a lesbian, which made it a bigger thing, and also Farah, which is an Egyptian character, I guess. They added her mother as a new hero, which made that worse, of course.
yeah,
it's
of course, yeah, it's the internet.
it's just frustrating. It's so fucking frustrating. Like, to me, Overwatch is a Tumblr simulator.
Dude,
Not a simulator, a simulator.
Somebody described Overwatch to me as a game that kept running into its own way or getting into its own way. Like they see a pothole and they just step right into it, and they dug the pothole.
Dude, I have a perfect example for you. Like, there's a YouTuber who I love. His name is Jello Apocalypse. All right, that's the only respectable anime topic generator I've seen on the internet. And what he does, he has a video a video series called "This Is Basically," right? And what he does is he takes something he played or he likes, and he makes fun of it in a comedic way. And he has one for Pokemon. He has one for everything: TV shows, games. Anime, games, cartoons, whatever he's into, right? And he did "This Is Basically Overwatch," and because they said it's so diverse, he said in the video, "Why don't they have a female robot character?" If memory serves, right? 3 weeks later, they release a female robot character. This is how weak Blizzard is.
Yeah, she was called Orisa. She was made by like a Nigerian kid or something.
Yes. Can you imagine this, Louis? Can you picture how weak this game is, the development team?
I hate to say this, but I can't imagine it. I hate to say this though, but any company that listens to the fans is sometimes wrong. right?
No, dude, you can listen to the fans. You see, The Witcher kept updating their games 3 years later. And whenever people complain about something, about the interface, which is like, oh, I would love for the books to be separated from the other items because that's where I want to read them. I would love for this to exist here or this to exist there. And what they do is they hear those complaints, update their interface, and the interface becomes better, right? That's good listening to the fans. But when you are so weak that when somebody makes a joke about not having a female robot and you listen to it out of fear that your diversity thing will be shattered, that your entire PR campaign will crumble if you don't make this new character, then you need to rethink your game plan. This is not what you do. That's catering. You know what happens when you cater to people? Ask the comedians who cater to people.
Well said.
It's that simple.
But I
Dude,
think
that's what I love. Yeah,
it also
go on.
diverts back to the notion that a lot of fans don't know what they want, and that is inherently in some capacity the game developer's job. You're the one making the product. Listen to the fans, but don't cater. Obviously, do a healthy amount of listening, like you stated. But at the end of the day, you're the one that's steering the helm. So you know the vision before everyone else. You're giving the product to them. And if it's a brand new game or a brand new franchise, then you are the one that's bringing the first impression. So you are in control of that, not the fans. And the fans, they have their input naturally because everyone has an input these days. But it's you shouldn't come in with the mentality, I'm going to make this product and I'm going to adjust it accordingly depending on how everyone tells me to do it. You should come in with the mentality, I'm going to make something and try to improve it based on what people tell me accordingly.
Hey, that's why...
That's called pandering. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
Dude, that's why Shonen Jump fails as a comic company. It's because, like, they try to fit everything they have, despite the vision of the author, and steer it towards what people want. And they said it in the comment section. We said it, and we're going to keep saying it. And it's not just for the Japanese. It's for everybody. Don't, like, compromise your own authenticity, your own beauty, right? Like to appeal to somebody else's. Creativity is a collective experience. You need to listen to people. That's fine. Input is great. But in the end, you have to trust your own compass, not anybody else's. And when you start using other people's compasses, people who, as proven, do not know what they want and do not know what they need, you're gonna fail, and that's what happens. It turns out to be trash. The second you listen to fans, it becomes trash. Which actually brings me up to an interesting point, which is a weird jump off. But I listened to 3 songs of Eminem's new album, but I don't fully understand the context of the album. And Louis has a lot of rapping knowledge, so I would like to ask him a question, which is, did Eminem do what I just described, which is listen to people dissing him about the old album and just made that the new album? Did he reverse pander and got into this trap? Because that's what it looks like.
To answer your question, yes. He took it very personally and not necessarily disguised it as the new way to go about trying to change rap, but people interpreted it that way because Eminem has been trying to be nicer ever since, I'd say 2 or 3 albums ago, ever since he got out of rehab. So he's been trying to be better and trying to make better social commentaries. And his last album, the reason why people didn't like it at all was because it wasn't him, and you could tell it wasn't him. And that's why, in contrast, people like his new album, because even though he needed an excuse to listen to people and their opinions, it still brought them back to what they originally wanted, which, remember, they did not know they originally wanted the first time.
Oh, so what Eminem did was actually what I also described, which is creativity being a collective effort, which is, oh, okay, I think I fucked up, and therefore I need to fix it, and I need to listen to people and go back to to my own compass. If that's what he did, full respect, because that album is lit.
Well, he let me put it to you like this. He's like the person, he's like the kid that did something wrong, but he doesn't want to admit he did something wrong. And then he decides that he did something right on his own volition instead of listening to people. So in this case, he's like, I made a better album. I went back to my roots, but not because you guys told me, because I know what I'm capable of. And I want to go back to this because going back to it is what I need for this particular method. I need to diss all of you. And what did the old me used to do? I used to diss everyone. So yeah, I do think it's his best album in years. You know, I think it's just those 13 songs alone. Actually, it's more like 11 because there's 2 skits on there. Anyway, that whole album alone is probably over time will be in my eyes better than the Marshall Mathers LP2.
Which is a very good album.
Which is a very good album after he was struggling at that point. He you know, he's an artist, right? He has peaks and valleys. So he's up and down, up, down.
Do you have any input on this, Babushka?
I would say the modern rap is always, not always, but nowadays it's just concentrating on just disses. Like it makes the rap more exciting. People looking forward for some plots. Like the one Eminem just recently did, which is Kamikaze dissing MGK and other rappers like who was that guy? Gucci Gang guy, and some other people.
Yeah.
Like people are still looking forward for some just diss tracks, dissing other rappers. But I can see what was Eminem going for. He was going for the old Slim Shady style. I see that as a really good thing. Eminem is just back, but he isn't that good of a back. Like he needs to improve. He needs to focus on his old style. So not just making some diss tracks and just goes away. But that's my opinion for just listening to Kamikaze. I don't know about the other songs, but yeah, I can say the Slim Shady is just back.
And that's what people wanted. This album is like I said, the first one in it's actually 4 or 5 albums where Slim Shady is the star of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm not very educated in rap. I'll admit that much, which is why I'll be the guy who asks the questions here. I've listened to some people, like I listened to Kendrick. I listened to what's his name? That one guy who made no, what's his name? That black guy who like.
Oh yeah, that really narrows it down. Right? Yeah, the black rapper.
No, the Jamaican guy, like Long Live the Chief album. What's his name?
Jadena.
Yes, Jadena. I listened to him. I listened to Eminem, but
really?
That's my extent.
You listen to Jadena? Doesn't seem like he's your cup of tea.
Dude, he's amazing. What are you talking about? Dude, I'm just not very educated. I don't have poor taste. I'm just not very educated on the topic, which is why I'm asking. I don't listen, like, I've heard mumble rap as shit, and I can agree with whatever people present with me, but my question is, like, who are the kings? Like, the ones I should listen to.
Like the all-time greats of the genre?
Not the all-time greats. I want the current kings, i.e., the people who are releasing new stuff and are very good. And I need, in order to be a fan of rap, I need to know these guys and know their tracks and keep up with them, because as great as Tupac is, he's dead. And I don't like dead things. I don't like classical music because it's dead. But I'd happily open up to pop because it's a growing genre or whatever, right? Because I like new stuff. I like people generating things more than I like people fangirling about the old stuff. So who are the current kings?
I got a couple. I got a few names for you. J. Cole, probably the top of my list. I sent you one of his songs a while back, and the reason why J. Cole is so great is because his songs can actually be translated literally to poetry. That's how he writes them poetically first, and then puts the music over it. It's not the other way around with a lot of artists where they make the beat first and then they just fill it in. So J. Cole, he's at the top of my list.
Actually, that's my next question, but keep going.
Second choice is Logic. He's mixed, and if you get deep enough into his music, you'll find why that's a meme that he keeps mentioning. He's mixed or biracial. He's getting better over time. My third recommendation would be someone who's actually featured on the Kamikaze album, Lucky You, Joyner Lucas. He's the one who also made the I'm Not Racist song that went viral a couple months back.
That was a good song, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would listen to Kanye's first 4 albums.
Let's talk about Kanye later.
First 4. Don't go beyond that. If you dare. Unless you dare. And then my final recommendation is King Ace / Suicide / DeAndre McLilly / Kendrick's dad. Right, Trillion?
Okay.
You know.
I'm writing this shit.
He's writing this shit in his notes. Like, he's into this shit.
Dude, because I want to be educated. I want to keep up, like this is a genre I like because I think it's like the new poetry because the poets killed poetry. I write poetry. So if I'm going to get into a genre like poetry, it's rap. That's what the new shit is. But
well, I'll keep you. How about this? Let's strike a deal here. I'll keep you updated on rap if you guys keep me updated on gaming.
Yes, deal. But
just ask me to do that for you, and you do the deal or do the deed for Trillion, of course.
Yes.
All right. With that said, I didn't get Babushka stakes. I need to take your notes as well. Who would you recommend?
Mm-hmm.
I would say Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, already done. Next.
Yeah, you already listened to him. Don't listen to any other rapper, to be honest. But
I took all the good options. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Those were good options, by the way. Also, I would say go for Rich Brian, if you know him.
Oh, okay.
Rich Brian's also really good. You can go for Russ is, kind of good, but he died out pretty soon, like sooner than expected. Migos are just bullshit. Like they just release songs. They don't put enough effort into their songs. Drake is just dead. He's chasing his soul of rap. Meek Mill is good. Meek Mill is really good.
Okay. I have 2 names.
Yeah, that's it.
I have 2 names. I heard only one song for each person. And I don't know whether they're good or not because, again, I don't have too much experience on this. The first name is A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, LSD.
Oh.
LSD.
Yes, LSD. Like it's on my top song list. But I don't know if he's a good rapper or not because honestly, he didn't rap much in that one.
He released a new song called "Praise the Lord, The Shine" or something.
You want to know if you like A$AP Rocky or not? Listen to the song "Goldie" and see if you're into his flow, his sarcasm, and a sense of humor.
All right. The second one, and I don't think I'll get a good answer. And if I get a good answer, it's not like, oh, he's on the top. But I think like from the way that people describe mumble rapping that he's one of them, but I don't know. Um, he's called, I think, Lil Dicky.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean,
Little Dicky. Yes, yes.
what song did you listen to from him?
The one he did with Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah.
Don't listen to Pillow Talk.
Okay.
He's not a real rapper in many people's
He's a
eyes.
comedian.
I don't know where you draw that distinction. But yeah, he's definitely the memeiest rapper on the list if you write him down.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Now, a question from. Okay, I tried writing rap. Okay.
Oh, here
And
we go.
I would say I mildly succeeded, but I got some hiccups. And my hiccups is because I really didn't go to a person who wrote rap or knows how to write rap and ask some questions. But I'm gonna take you guys' input, and people in the comment section can do it as well. When you write it, do you get the beat first or you get the lyrics first? Because personally, I find it way easier to get the beat first. But everybody, like, I have a guy who does soundboarding, like one of my friends, and he said, "Give me the lyrics first," and it became who gets it first. And I find it very hard to write without having a beat to like set the mood, to know the ups and downs, to know how to navigate the song, because that's what I do to my poetry, which is navigate. I can't navigate with just writing lyrics.
Artists do it different ways. I have friends that write rap. Some of them make the beat first, and then, like I said, fill it in, and others make the lyrics first. There's a different wiring in how people can relate to the music, because I would say that if you're if you're better with flow, then you can get away with writing the lyrics first, because you know exactly how you want it to sound, and then you can make the beat accordingly. Some people need the direction before they even write the lyrics down. Which is like, to give you examples, Eminem probably writes lyrics down first, and Drake probably does beats first.
Yeah, he does. Drake, makes the beats first because he doesn't do enough effort into his lyrics. Like I've seen recently, he doesn't even give a damn about the lyrics anymore. He just repeats words over and over and over. And his songs just turn out like, they're just bad. Not as bad as Kanye's new album.
Jesus.
Like, oh my god, Poopity Scoop, seriously.
Hey, don't disrespect the GOAT.
Seriously.
He's self-aware, which comes with its, again, peaks and valleys. Yeah, you'll find that a lot of the people that make less interesting rap, though there are exceptions, those are the people that make beats first.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, fair enough.
But it's hard. But a lot of people, remember, a lot of people hire others to make beats for them, to produce for them, and a lot of people they have a portfolio of essentially songs that they've already constructed. So they bring out one of these beats, and they're like, "How does this one sound?" And they have a studio session where they just sit there for a half hour and they just listen and they bob their heads and, okay, I think I can work with this. And then the words start coming in, right? They start bobbing their heads. Yep. And then and then they start putting words to the beats, and it works out like that. You have to have some serious balls, not ever writing a rap before in your life, to come in, I got lyrics first. Make the beat for me. Or I'll make the beat myself, because then he doesn't know how you're gonna work the words in there. Like, just imagine, we're talking about Kamikaze. Dude, the very first song on the album, Ringer, really any of them, but Ringer in particular, where he raps so fast. Can you imagine a producer trying, like, people complain that Eminem is not a good producer, but at least he produces his own stuff sometimes, because For those certain songs, he's the only one that can get away with knowing where he's going with it. There's no producer alive that can be like, I can map out where he's gonna take the lyrics unless I'm constantly in contact with him.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can because like I can tell writing lyrics first is very, very difficult.
It's ballsy. It's
Mainly,
not so much difficult. It's just yeah.
no, it's scary. Like
Mm.
I'm sitting down and I'm like it's like when like a painter comes in and he's like, I want to paint, but without like without sketching anything. That's what writing lyrics first feels like
Mhm.
doing the paint without the sketch. And it's weird. It's just like overwhelming. And I say I did a pretty good job with what I had, but like I couldn't rap it for shit because like because like I have no flow. Like give me flow.
May I ask why it is you asked this question in the first place? Are you planning to release a diss track on someone by chance?
Ooh.
No. Well,
This
it's a
this
diss,
like
but like
boats.
I can do that. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil what I have in my head. I want to write one song, right? Like lyrics, and I want to see if I can make it rap because I have that thing in my head which tells me that if I put my mind to something, I can make it work. I don't have to be the best, but I have a pride in me that tells me that I can master any skill that I can master if I just put the time. And um, I think I can do it, but like it's just I don't have the proper instruction, the proper tools, if you will, and I'm just like I ask these questions, hoping one of these tools click, and the second they click, I can do it.
You're totally releasing a diss track, aren't you? And if it's on me, I swear to God, you bald motherfucker, I will bury you.
Louis, you don't need a diss track. You're already a walking diss track to yourself. You pre-ordered
Okay.
fucking Black Ops 4. You
Yeah.
fucking
I
peasant.
pre-ordered it, and now you're pre-ordering the shots that you're about to take. All right,
Oh
it's on,
please, oh
bitch.
please,
Dude,
fire away. What are you gonna talk about?
it's beefing up
No, I
me up.
can't. I can't
Like,
freestyle. I'm too white for that. I'll admit that. But you give me time and passion, and we can go at it like men. All right.
Oh, like that one time we spent 4 weeks like sending 1 minute diss tracks to each other.
Yeah, it'll be like that, but worse. It'll be a lot worse for you, my friend. Yeah, maybe I can find those old diss tracks and we can release them to the public, right? And then Babushka can be the judge of who got roasted harder.
oh,
Spoiler
Oh.
alert, it's gonna be you.
oh,
Oh, please.
look,
Please.
look. I'm gonna be a judge of how many Slav jokes are gonna be there.
No. Like, dude, about rap, there's one thing that's making me like reserved that annoys me, which is that the way I write my shit, and both of you have seen my poetry, it's not really what the rappers want, people who enjoy rap want. I don't like, there isn't much dissing and there isn't much talking about like sex and bitches. Like, that's not what interests me. And I know that you can't write rap about things that don't interest you, right? So that's my point of confusion. What do I rap about? Like, that would be appealing to the rap audience, because in the end, if you make raps for yourself, you might as well not release it, right?
Well,
Change the
that's a
style.
question that you'll need to address with your ghostwriters.
Look, the thing about diss tracks, you have to take turns. You can't do it like at the same time because it's just gonna be cringy. Like everyone's gonna mock each other, Like, look at your nose, look at your head, and something like that. Blah blah blah. Just take turns while making diss tracks. Sometimes there will be more disses. Might go stronger than the other diss track since there gonna be a lot of ideas, but that's the general idea about diss tracks.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from you, Trillion, is that you know how the structure works. Not enough to beat me, of course, but you know how it's coming along, but it just doesn't. It doesn't seem too rapey or rappy. Rappy. It doesn't seem too rappy. And
Dun dun
ugh.
dun dun.
It was a mistake. YouTube, I swear.
No, now, okay, like it's gonna take time, but like I'll release it eventually. Like, I have to. Like, it's out of respect for the genre more than anything. Like, when like you see an artist doing something and you feel compelled to do it yourself, if anything, just to have that mark in the medium. That's what it feels like to me. I don't want to be a professional rapper or anything, but I just like want to have a track or two, just like to say, see, like I have my small thing to the genre, like as my tribute to it, because I honestly feel like everything that's wrong with poetry is right in rap, and I have to admire it somehow.
You can release a couple of tracks on SoundCloud, a couple of face tattoos, and call yourself Little Roma 55.
Yeah, you can call yourself Lil. It's got to be something with a Lil in it. That's in style, and then something edgy. So, Lil Dickhead or Lil Terrorist, Italian terrorist. See, I'm playing off that. Did I say Lil Dickhead?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
So,
No,
yes, it's all a trend. Need to play the trends, my friend.
Dude, you know what the saddest shit ever is? Seeing somebody rap about anime.
Oh no. No.
Dude,
No.
I have a story. I have to say this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna cringe you out, but originally I entered the cosplaying community in Kuwait.
Okay,
because
stop.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna prepare me with one for stress.
Yeah. Like, I entered thinking that it's what I saw in Comic-Con, which is people goofing off, because that's what I thought being a cosplayer is somebody who's goofing off, and I thought there was a level of self-awareness. But I entered there and I got very disappointed. Like, there were people like there were grudge matches between people, at least in Kuwait. I don't know what it is outside, but like in Kuwait in particular, there were grudge matches between the cosplayers and who gets the top spot, something stupid like that. And more importantly, they wanted to be respected. And whenever a minority wants to be respected, I shove the shoe in their face, because that's not what no, that's not how you do it. You don't beg for respect. You earn it, and you will never earn it by cosplaying. So give up. It's like furries wanting to be like recognized as a legit way of life. Fuck all of you, right? No, we will not.
Well, now you need a diss track for the furries too.
But that's just like
he's gonna start it with "I'm gonna degenerately destroy you."
Yeah, he's gonna create a kamikaze album of his own in order to diss all these groups. Calm down. This is your first rap. You don't want this smoke.
No, dude, you have to understand. We didn't reach the good part yet. Eventually, going to a cosplayer event became something to do to like make fun of them. So I would tell people how bad it is. They wouldn't believe me, so I take them to a cosplaying event, and then after we leave, we never come back, and we never go to paid events because I'm not paying money for this shit. I'm gonna enter for free, and I'm gonna waste an hour of my life, and I'm gonna go away laughing my ass off. That's what I'm gonna do. And we went to that one place, and they had an open mic, right? And the idea is people go on the open mic and do whatever. And some people sang, which is cringy enough, but that there's one particular person who just did something so outrageous that like we did like it, okay, so what this guy did, he just showed up, right? I don't remember his dress and I don't want to remember his dress, all right? But what he did was he wrote a Naruto rap song in Arabic, all right? Which is already like three things that should not be put together in on any circumstance were done together, right? No, come back. No, come back. You have to. No, yes, come back. Come back, Babushka. He... Oh. Okay, come back. Come back. No, yes, come back, please. There we go. No, come back. No, come back. Yes, you need to hear this. That's not the worst part. He was gonna live perform it, right? So the music starts and he starts singing it. And what happens? The bitch is lip syncing. He's just mumbling, and there's like sound in the back. He didn't even have like the self-respect to at least sing it. He lip synced that shit, and he was moving around and doing this.
Dude, cosplayers are just fucking trash.
Yep. I couldn't say it any better myself.
God damn, like I remember seeing that and like something died in me. And like I come here and like in the anime law, and if somebody asked me like, why are you so hard on these people? Why are you so bad? Why are you blah blah blah? Why don't you recognize mangakas as writers or any stupid shit like that? I always like, you haven't seen what I've seen. All right? These eyes hold pain that you do not understand.
Even that surprised you, huh? Right? There's some things that you expect to see going in. Right? It's like if you head into a cemetery, you expect to see graves, dead people. You know, it's like seeing a zombie. You didn't expect it. You go to an anime convention and you see somebody rapping Naruto. And I feel your pain. But know that I would never put myself in that position. So fuck you. It's your fault.
It is. I take full responsibility. But hey, you gotta make that, like, you gotta make some hard mistakes before you learn, right? Like, and as I said, I did my share. And like, how scum can you get? I think is a competition that people are trying to top themselves in, right?
Oh, absolutely. Cringe has become a national pastime and an Olympic.
Oh no. Here's another one for cringe.
By the way, if anybody wondering what is that, that's our tobacco, like the only tobacco that can grow in the Middle East. It's called docha, or doka if you're a peasant.
Everyone's smoking in this stream. I should go get my cigars.
Oh yeah, you should.
Cigars, pipe tobacco, vape, all types of tobacco except cigarettes, because those are shit.
Who smokes anymore? Cigarettes, that is.
Like,
who is unself-aware enough to actually walk around? Do you know how much judgment is being passed on you when you smoke a cigarette? It's like, if you're gonna kill yourself, it better be the highest shit on the market. Cigarettes.
No, dude. The thing with cigarettes, why it's here, like everybody smokes cigarettes. One, they're cheap. They're way cheaper than your stuff. Like, we don't have like those like sanctions that increase the price. Actually, we did, but it didn't increase by much. And the second thing is that our country is second only to Japan in the amount of smokers it has, or the percentage of smokers it has. And so it's a norm, even though there are a lot of places where smoking is banned and they're trying to go down on this shit, and the invention of vape had made so many smokers just switch to vape instead. the percentage of smokers are still very, very high, because most people in Kuwait are peasants who cannot appreciate good tobacco. Not because they can't afford it. No, they're peasants. That's why they don't get good tobacco. They like pipes are everywhere, cigars are everywhere. The high-end stores with the good like quality for the connoisseurs are there. I take pride in the fact that my first smoke was a cigar. I take pride in that, and I stuck to that for years until I switched to something else, which was pipe tobacco, and then like worked my way down. And when I tried cigarettes for the first time, I felt like 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 I felt like shit. No, don't smoke. It's bad. Don't smoke cigarettes, that is. Smoke everything else. Tobacco is good for you. Every genius in the world had tobacco in their system. But
At least Tobacco Law episode 1.
You know what I just realized? There's no such thing as a lesbian if you think about it.
Oh, there is, trust me, my ex was a lesbian.
Well, hold on. I was thinking, whenever you look up lesbian videos on the internet, as you kids most likely do, and they're engaging, right? And they're using toys and everything.
Yep.
What they use are always like the sex toys that, dildos that are shaped like dicks, right? Mm-hmm. Which is proof to me that a woman still wants the penetration of a penis, which belongs to a male. So they want that sensation that a male has to offer, but I guess they don't want the rest of the man with it, right? But in which case they enjoy the... Do you know where I'm going with this? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
yes, I understand the logic behind it. But let me add this one extra point, and maybe it will convince you, maybe it will not. Maybe we'll see. I heard this, which is by the mouth of a lesbian, which is the reason I don't have sex with men and I have sex with females instead, is because the sexual experience with the female is, or for the female, is a very mental process, while for the male it's a very physical process. The male is looking for physical pleasure, but what the female wants is mental pleasure, which is why females would enjoy seduction way more, and being seduced even way more. When like guys learn how to seduce out of the urge to have sex, but what the female wants is that mental element. And if the guy is not very good at giving it, that's why they prefer females, because it's always mental with the females. As Louis C.K. once said, females can choose to have sex with their minds, when males can't, right? So that would be the extra element I would need for you to clarify to support your statement.
So what you're saying is that it's for the woman, it's more of a, and I believe this too, that for the woman it's more of a mental commitment. Therefore, they want something more intimacy wise than what the man generally has to offer.
Yeah. I believe it's that simple. Lesbians would disagree. Like,
and so they would.
There's more than that. But no.
And so, yeah. So then, like a lesbian's point of view would be, they look at another woman as being able to offer the equal amount of mental. See, I'm not sure if that's how I want to describe it, though. Like the mental commitment,
engagement, dance, call it whatever you want to call it, but like the idea
but I know what it is. I just haven't attached the label to it yet.
Yeah, because like especially men who don't get any very often, they tend to have a very, very similar reaction to the rest of the men, which is and now we're done, and the female's like, okay, what about me? Now it doesn't work anymore. And now I'm just here, right? Where another female understands this, and so there can be way more of a dance. Second thing, females can come multiple times, so they don't like power down every 3 seconds and like give me half an hour or let me take a Viagra pill in order to function again. No, they can keep going, right? Which means that you can have a full night of fun whilst with a guy, unless he's very good with foreplay and extends the thing, or has a very high tolerance to penetration, and is able to hold himself back. Um, there isn't much fun for the women to be had. So, like, to me, that's how these are the elements that make females go for other females.
You seem to have studied this a lot more than any average person would have. You were prepared for this question, weren't you?
Funny enough, I wasn't. But here's the thing. When you enter every exam and you need to infer every question because you haven't studied it, you kind of develop this trait of actually making a consistent answer
Oh,
by
believe me,
just
I
conjecture.
yeah, I believe me, I do that too. But I suppose every once in a while, at the most random of times, you reach a paradox or what you determine to be one, and you just need to let it out.
Yeah, dude, like, I do not disagree. Like, your statement has good logic to it. And the comments disagree, but it had good logic to it. And because I've played with this concept randomly as I was driving once, I was able to, like, communicate a response that was, um, let's say, worthy of the build-up that you've put. But it didn't come from like heavy research or anything, and I don't heavily research anything. If I heavily research anything, I write essays about it, right? I'm that guy. So like,
That or you run the risk of being the person that just regurgitates the stats to make yourself look good.
oh
Well,
yeah, ooh.
it's like this. You see, 70% of females, blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah, it's like the great Bill Burr once said. Like, you go to you already have your mind made up, then you go to umright.com, learn a few stats, and just puke them at people.
Yeah, and it's because they do it too, right? So it's like somebody goes up to someone, they tell them their stats. Have you ever noticed that these conversations have very little validity after just a few minutes because they run out of facts? They memorize like 3 lines on the Pew Research Center, and then they walk up to someone and they're like, here's my stance, blah, 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 blah. Stat 1, stat 2, stat 2A, stat 2B, stat 3. And then the other person refutes and goes, well, here's my argument and here are my stats. And seriously, count it. After like 5 minutes, they're done debating with reason. At this point, it's just, you're wrong. No, well, you're wrong. And then they get into a shouting match. And then at the very end, they bring the stats back because they want to reinforce it, right? Like, I'm right again.
Dude, you see this machine? This is a perfect example of
I
what
was
you
about
just
to mention
described.
that.
Yep. Dude, this shit, like, people still to this day walk up to me. They did it on stream. Those fucking stupid bitches, Danny and their whatever. I was like, stop smoking that shit. It gets water in your lungs. I'm like, where did you look that up? A BuzzFeed article?
Oh, I'm drowning.
Because this juice, like, I don't know, like, this juice does not have water in it. It's called vapor because it's a vapor state, not because it's water. And have you ever drank water and breathed at the same time? Don't you cough that shit out? And it's fine. So why is that a bad thing to begin with? Like, where do people research this? Where do people get their shit from? I don't know. Like, have you ever been a person, like, people will say, oh, this is more dangerous than smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, you know what makes the cigarette dangerous? CO1. What has CO1? Tar. What has the most tar in it? Cigarettes. Not regular tobacco, mind you, just the cigarettes. They put tar in that shit. That's why it's bad, right? No. Let's ignore all of that and say because like say something dumb people can understand, and then write a few stats, and then now vape is bad or whatever is bad. And I'm like, you guys need to sit down and hear yourselves, because you're clearly not listening. Right?
Okay,
You're
but
just like,
I think Babushka would know a lot about this. Being that you associate with a lot of memes, have you ever seen those memes that try to play off as stats or as reputable sources? Like the meme is to compare one thing to another, and the intention of the meme is to make the political stance generally. I hate those. Why are you using a meme of all things to try to educate me? Not their
Well,
purpose.
those kind of memes do nothing to society itself, or as memers, like this doesn't politically or just change anything in life in general. I don't call this a meme. I just call this a waste of time. So it doesn't work with anyone, or no one. It does not work with anyone at all.
Well, it's the biggest problem I have with them is that people quote them so often. So you'll be scrolling down on social media the very few times that I already do it, and the reason I leave right away is because I'm reminded of why I didn't want to come back here. And it's because of I sign into like Facebook like once a month, right? And it's like, okay, let's check in just to know that people still exist. And then you scroll down and it doesn't take long for you to find one of these political memes, and it simplifies an issue so much.
Yep.
And no one benefits from it. But if you read the comments, it's just that people love that simplification, but it's a political issue. So it's clearly abortion is a much more strenuous topic to discuss than just you're killing babies or it's a woman's right.
Since it just doesn't work, as you said, or as we said, being a little bit communist here, again, it's just a waste of time. It's not a meme. It's just someone from Tumblr trying to start a topic in a funny way. Other memers do the same thing, but in a funny way. They make jokes about this, which is sometimes can be funny. But some people who dive into it so much, it just becomes a start to and it's a start of nonsense. Like it's just a simple thing that starts shitty conversations. Like an example, abortions. Some people can make fun of that. Make fun of the person thinking about this meme. At the same time, it makes a lot of people just talk about it with nonsense. A lot of nonsense. That's why I call it a Tumblr meme.
And I have that. To me, memes have always they've always shined as being funny, so that's what I go to them for. And so I appreciate when people do it humorously. What I don't appreciate it clearly is just the ones that aren't even memes. They're just, it's a picture and then there's a caption of, would you let this happen? 45% of Americans believe that the earth is flat, or whatever crazy stat they found on some random website. And I mean, somebody in the comments, MultiPierce123, claimed that memes are obviously they're easier to understand, so people tend to steer towards them. And I guess we've gotten to a point where not only are our attention spans have been lessened, but our tolerance has been lessened, and therefore the meme is like the best we can do to approach the problem.
when it comes to please go ahead.
So the kind of memes that make me laugh mostly is that the memes, let's say it that way. The only memes that can make everyone laugh the nonsense memes. Like I made a meme of me just a picture of an onion just zooming in, and a picture of a guy with an emoji making this, and just running randomly. It was the funniest shit. Julian saw it.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of meme that makes a person laugh. It's just the general what the fuck is happening at the same time. This shit is funny, not just talking about politics and some shit. Like it's just the start of a conversation, as I said for like the fourth time. Go on, Julian.
Um, to me, what I like about memes is that they give a sense of connection to people who do not have a connection, and that can be a jump off point. So if both of you laugh at a meme randomly, there's a small thing that can be an icebreaker for whatever you want to do. And the second thing I like personally, my favorite type of memes are the memes that make fun of a thing that people like. So there's a game called Europa Universalis 4. All right.
Yeah.
It's a game where you play in the in Europe when colonialism and the Renaissance and the Lutheran reform started happening and blah blah blah, and you work all the way up to the French Revolution, right? And you're supposed to pick a nation and play, and um, the AI is very clever, and it tries its best to follow history while still having an element of randomness that keeps it interesting. So every time you start a campaign, it's different, and the elements in it are different, and it's a super fun game, right? It's so good that people started taking movie clips, and what they do is they replace the characters in the movie with flags. So that character in the movie is supposed to represent a nation in the game, and then the movie plays out, and then you see a relation between the flow of the movie and how the nations act in the game. And if you played the game, you start crying out of laughter because it's so true, but it's not supposed to, right? The EU4 memes are super good because of that. You just play the video, and then you see it, and you're like, this is literally the game. This is how it goes on in my head. How did it capture it, right? And when a meme is able to do that, I believe it's reached like the height of
No.
For the record,
No.
this is my favorite meme ever, and I, to this day, cannot explain to you exactly why it makes me die. And nobody else really gets it. Like, people would chuckle. No, I have laughed for hours. I am not exaggerating. Just looking back at this meme, I don't understand.
God damn it.
dude, Drake has like so good of a meme face. He's so good. I love him, but that's the only reason. I don't care about his music. It's just his meme content. It's just, oh god. See, this is what I love. That's the idea. That's
That's what we do. Still do the Kiki meme in 2019.
I don't get it. It's like a trigger in me, just a switch. Somebody just flicks it in it. Oh boy.
About jokes, also the funniest jokes to people are just the jokes that start with straight up facts. Like when you come up with something so accurate, like Billboard does mostly. It's just generally funny. Like it's so funny to people. That's the only thing that makes me laugh. Also, memes about stereotypes, like Slav memes, Russian people, just starting this stupid stereotype, which makes me laugh all the time. It's just, it's like it's so accurate, so dumb, and at the same time, it gives you a good combination of a good joke.
Yes, can we agree that stereotypes are funny? They are, people. Okay, if you take stereotypes that seriously, then you're the ones that get offended. But come on, they're everywhere. They exist for a reason. And they help bring some light onto someone, because no matter how hard somebody tries, when somebody says, "What do you think of when you think of a black person?"
Oh,
The answers are obvious. I don't have to tell you. You know what you're thinking. Or a Hispanic, or a white person, or like, we have groups, categories. It makes us human. There's nothing wrong with it. But somehow it's even funnier to me when people try to deny it.
Dude, the only
well,
ones who deny it are SJWs who think diversity means that nobody, you can't stereotype. It's just that simple.
But that's how we think, right? Like, putting people in groups, it works. It's convenient.
Dude, SJWs don't care about logic. They don't care about statistics. They don't care about studies. They don't care about anything. They care about what they want, right? And what they want is to ruin people having a fun time.
And they're one of their 3 studies that they always regurgitate in a debate is diversity is important, and stereotypes are evil, because everyone's different.
Dude, how can you not stereotype the Irish? Like, they look all the same. They do the same things. They're awesome, but they do the same things. They love the same things. They hate the same things, Britain. And it's just they're the same. You can't, like, what diversity is
I'm
there?
tired of this. I'm tired of this shit too. The whole, like, stop saying everyone looks alike. It's like, no, everyone looks alike. Have you noticed that? This started as a meme too, where it's like everyone used to say this about Asians, about Chinese people. It's all Chinese people looked alike. And then the new memes started coming up, like a bunch of black guys that looked alike, a bunch of white guys that looked alike, and it's like, yeah, everyone looks alike in somebody's stereotypical head because it makes sense.
Dude, there was I don't know if it's Japanese, Asian, but I'm pretty sure it's Japanese. An employee somewhere that refunded her iPhone because her face unlock can be unlocked by a fellow employee.
no.
Their face were so similar, the iPhone unlocked for the other person. That's enough proof for me.
It's not even so much that that's beautiful though. You need to find me that video.
I'll look it up right now.
And Jesus,
It'd be funny. It'd be funny. Black guys, he set up his face recognition on his iPhone, and the phone just constantly, unlocks in the dark, like just constantly unlocks and locks.
There we go. Here is the article. I'm gonna send it here, and you can read it on stream. I just sent it in our very private group chat in the Hangouts that nobody else can see. We're plotting your murders and stuff like that on that chat. You don't get to see it.
For me, the way it works before we get started here is we all have a character developed in our heads for a certain race of someone, and that's our default. So when we hear, and you hear this on the news all the time with the reporting, it was an African-American male. It's like, oh, okay, Ice Cube. Yeah. It's like we have characters. It works. It's a simple system. Stop trying to mess with it, SJWs. It works. I'm not a racist piece of shit. All right? I know how to tolerate people. But apparently, the iPhone X does not. Because it turns out Where do I go again? Okay. Trillion, say something.
Fruity Loops.
Okay, there we go. Just to be on the safe side. So this headline is all I need to know, really. Yep. Yep. Like siblings.
Oh no.
Okay, it's a short one. So verbatim, a woman in the eastern Chinese city of Nanjing has been offered a second refund after faulty facial recognition. She got a refund. Software on 2 iPhone X handsets allowed her colleague to unlock them. Well, woman identified only by her surname told Yan. Dude, I can't stop laughing at this because it's exactly like it plays so beautifully into it. Could not have been written any better into the stereotype. So yeah, simply put, the iPhone is racist. Apple is racist. We should boycott them like we're doing everything else these days. And fuck your feelings.
Horrible.
Dude, it's very simple. Okay? Russians like vodka, Polish like getting raped, the Arabs suck at war, and Americans are shit at everything. It's just like facts.
Hey, we are not shit at everything. I will correct that and say we are the best at being shit at everything.
Well, you certainly try to be,
and yet
you're
somehow
like
end up succeeding in our own right world. Somehow, we're still standing. It's on wobbled legs, but we're here.
It's beautiful. Like, to me, like, people say, I can't imagine a future where America implodes. And I'm like, what are you talking about? As far as I'm concerned, America is on the verge of imploding every second. That's why they're always on panic mode. You know?
That's why everything is breaking news here.
Yeah, like it's just like, it's beautiful. I hope it happens in my time, because I want to see the look of people's faces when I have the look of I told you so. Like, it was gonna happen. Like, it's an inevitability. Yeah, that word.
Spoken like a true scholar.
Yes,
a wordsmith
indeed.
Beyond his time.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna meme this.
Yes.
Somebody turn that into a GIF.
Ability. You sound Russian all of a sudden.
That's an easy meme right there. When the foreign exchange student tries to speak English, tries to do English,
When you shave off your hair and accidentally shave off 300 brain cells.
When you try to
dude, let me tell you my most proud comedy moment. It's not really funny, but I'm so proud of how accurate it is, right? And it's based on Nintendo. So what happened is, Nintendo's shit president Iwata died, and people worshipped him, but I hated his guts, right? And the new CEO showed up, and out of nowhere, Bayonetta's in games and Nintendo consoles and Doom, and like Nintendo grew up from a kid-friendly console to a very friendly console for everybody, right? And what I always say whenever I talk about this is, I always imagine the new Nintendo CEO, who looks very intense, by the way, like showing up in a meetings room and just sitting down, like everybody's sitting down, like looking at the new CEO, like trying to see the flow, see how this is going, and just seeing him like with his serious look on his face, and he's like, "Boobs useru," right? Which equates boob sell, right? And then everybody just like nodding their heads and starting to make calls, and like everybody's writing down notes, right? Just from that, like, he just said it, He just unlocked the floodgates, you know. And
Yeah, tits equals hits.
yes, but like
Talk about
because they're
Bayonetta.
yes, and that is fuck you, man. He just brain fucked me. God damn it.
Yep. Straight up facts, boy. Straight up facts.
Dude, Louis, if there is one reason you should get a Switch, it's Bayonetta.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
Dude, that's like, you know, whoever made that game was just having so much fun making it. That's how it looks like. Like, and that's my favorite type of game where I can see the glow in the creator's eyes, you know, as he's doing it through just seeing the content. And it doesn't have a very good plot, but god damn, is it fun.
Well, as glorious as that may sound, it can't be any better than Spider-Man on PS4.
Oh, no.
Go, please, no, don't, please. I'm gonna kill you, Louis. You're triggering all my brain cells that are left.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Nintendo, I'm here detailing some Tetsuru. Boy!
Dude, like, the funniest thing to me is that the Japanese game developers are 100% like by far better than their writers and comic makers and artists and all the other cringy shit they do. Like for some reason, like the game developers minus Kojima because fuck Metal Gear or whatever,
Rest in
um,
peace.
like have just an understanding of how good games are supposed to be made. And it really pains me that the best friendship power-up story is actually in a game, Fire Emblem, and not in an actual story-driven, like creative form, like comics or writing. Why? Like you can't be that bad, you know, but you are, and it triggers me.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry you feel that way. Would you like to talk more about it?
I think I've said enough.
We
Okay,
can
just
settle this
remember.
down with the hot boy. Here you go. Just take it.
Just
Like, I
remember,
wish I can reach in and take it. I
Here you
wish,
go.
truly.
Trillion, whatever
Again,
you need, I'll be here
Do
for
you
you.
want some G6 or do you want some Snoop?
I prefer
some
Snoop.
Yeah, get Snoop.
Yes. Dude,
Of course.
Snoop, that Doha hit is designed to be cold. And that's why it's called Snoop.
I love how in the comments, when I bring up Spider-Man, the game, somehow it turns into a discussion of who the best Spider-Man in the movies was, which is Tobey Maguire, by the way, but that's
No.
only because the other Spider-Man tried to be too. I need to give Tom Holland some time, but
Dude,
what about the
everybody
movie people?
knows.
It's about the game.
Dude, everybody knows that the best Spider-Man is, what's his name? Shit, I can't forget his name. Deadpool. Yeah, that's the best Spider-Man.
Ah, yes.
Everybody knows.
Deadpool's the best everything.
Yeah, he's.
Yes. Dude, I'm still salty that that Spider-Man wasn't paired with Deadpool yet in the movies. Like, this is a match made in heaven.
Soon.
Yes. I hope so. I fucking hope so, man.
Yeah, didn't Disney just buy them? So I
Yes,
assume it's coming.
yes, they did. Yes, I hope so. Like, fuck all the other X-Men. Just bring us Deadpool. Like, it's that simple. That's all we need out of the X-Men. We don't need anything else. So
I've
yeah,
kind
the
of
weather
forgotten
people.
about the comments here, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, like the comments aren't being very interesting this time around. Like they're chatting with themselves or making weird statements that I cannot really quote and get triggered by. Come on, like where's Danny? Like, or like I need somebody to beat up on today.
Where's Swagura? That's my question, you know. I wanted to
Dude,
be on stream. He keeps running away from the streams.
yeah, here's the idea, dude. Here's what you do if you want get attention without getting beat up. You claim you want to do it, but then the time did not help you, or if only you could have been there, right? Like that's what it looks like, dude. I take pride in the fact that none of the big YouTubers made it in our stream, like anime YouTubers, because they knew after that episode with what's his name, that bitch who showed up and went to Japan now, uh, that showed up and like tried to talk shit on
Code
our yeah
provider,
code yeah
showed
like
provider.
yeah when he showed up and got like stepped on, like everybody just learned that you don't mess with the anime law, guys. You'll show up and then it won't be nice. Like, remember that one time for Neverworld was in the comment section?
I do. Yeah,
Like,
it was
it's
funny. Everyone was. Oh,
like,
is for Neverworld gonna get in the stream now? It's like he wouldn't dare.
dude, we called out everybody. We called out everybody, and the only people who had the balls to show up are the smaller ones, right? Because like they have nothing to lose. Anybody who had something to lose was afraid of the sitting.
And for anyone that claims that the others were too big to give a shit, the anime community is like 3,000 people
Thank God.
tall on any given on any given average video. That's how many people watch. Like that's how many people are in this community, and so don't give me any of that. It's they had their chance. We're open to anyone coming on. Clearly,
You know, to me, I find it hilarious that the anime community, right, do
Are
not have the
weeaboos.
best anime content. Yeah, they don't have the best anime content. You want the good anime content, you go on that different side of YouTube where they don't really they interact with each other but don't interact with the cancerous part. You know, Team Four Star, uh, what's their name, Jello Apocalypse, like all of these guys who like interact with each other, but whenever you just like they never pair off for Neverworld and all these cancer, like the cancerous realm, right? And you gotta respect those guys for doing that. They know, right? They know what type of environment they're in, and so they separate themselves from the trash. I respect that.
and look, I'm trying to think of something nice to say. It's not coming out because I have nothing nice. Look, I don't respect the people in this community. I just come here, I talk. We all just come here and talk. And if they want to talk to you, they're welcome.
And it's not like we don't give them a chance. Whenever somebody comes on stream, we're actually very friendly, right?
Sure.
Until they start
let's
talking smack.
call it, until, well, in your case, until they intellectually destroy you.
Yes, of course, naturally. I got so intellectually destroyed, my hair fell off. Right, like,
Yes. In a matter of a
like
week, it was deadly. You were traumatized. And that is why we will never open the anime law to the rest of you peasants for as long as we are here on YouTube. Until the finale, that is.
yeah, you gotta end it with a blast.
So there's
That-
that. That's a big announcement. If you guys, anyone out there wants to get into the anime law stream, you'll have your chance with some already special guests that we'll have in the season 3 finale, which is coming up rather quick.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, Maybe it's the fact that I didn't start college yet, but time is passing very quick. I can't believe it. What episode is this? Is this episode like 5?
Yeah,
Like when
episode
did we
5 of
get
the
to
new season.
5, right? Like
Mhm.
it's weird. I guess because back in the day, especially on season 1, we actually prepared for these. Now they just became a routine. We just show up and talk shit.
Yeah.
Like do, do you remember the days when we used to prepare for it? Like, oh, let's critique Naruto today.
We wrote down notes, we had little snippets and blurbs, like this is what I'm going to say about this, this, and that. And, this is why soccer is a bad character. Then we come on and we're just like, you know what? Fuck
Dude.
you. Fuck all of you. Fuck us. Fuck the world. Fuck life, now that I think about it.
Dude, my favorite wasted joke in season 1, and you highlighted it on the season highlights, but I don't think people got it, and I never got the chance to explain when I was talking about like the Ino character, and I called it sleepover jutsu, and nobody got it, right? And what she does is she literally sleeps and goes into your brain and controls your body, right? That's sleepover jutsu, right? Whatever you want, that's what it is. It's a sleepover jutsu, but nobody got it.
Oh, I get it because it's a terrible play on words. You should be ashamed of yourself. I liked
I am
fat
very
ass
proud.
jutsu, right? Because it's choji.
Yes. No, but that one is simple. The other one has some thought put into it, and I'm very happy about it because I came up with it on the spot. Like, whenever you freestyle that type of humor, you feel good about yourself. At least I do.
Every comedian has some jokes that get overlooked.
Yeah, that is, dude, you can tell when the comedian thinks a joke will kill and it doesn't, because there's a small pause. You expected the laughter and it's not coming, and they have to proceed.
Oh.
Yeah, they have to adjust quickly. Just
it's always painful.
What was the next thing? Because in their head they played out, okay, I'm just gonna start the next set just as the audience laughter is dying down.
Like it's like the worst one is when the comedian starts telling jokes and nobody laughs for like 10 minutes, but because he's a comedian and he respects his craft, he keeps going, and it's so painful to watch, and I assume very painful to do. And I really respect the comedian who does his whole time, even though nobody's laughing. That's not easy. That's scary.
Talk about Amy Schumer.
Hey, wait, hold on. King Ace is in the comments, and he just retracted his comment. Speak now or forever hold your peace, King Ace. What do you want to say? You get mad about us sneak dissing you? We're about to make diss tracks in the near future. You want to catch some of this smoke? Because I'll do it, man. I don't care if you're a professional rapper or father or whatever.
Again, I'll be the judge.
Yes. I'm feeling a little bit antsy lately. Too many people talking from a distance and not wanting to come on here.
Yeah, dude.
Which is why I'll remind all of you.
Dude,
if you want to say, if you want any particular person, if you want to see them on the stream, make sure to let us know and make sure to let them know. But especially let them know, because you already know that we'll let them know.
Dude,
I think that came out right.
We're already, dude, we're like a Romanian whore. We open our legs to anybody. You just have to get in, all right? But you guys have to do it.
You see how nobody laughed at that either?
Why?
You see, that's gonna make the highlights for season 3, but just based off of the lack of laughter.
Again with the Roman jokes. Trillion. Again with the Roman jokes.
Yeah, you're overdoing it.
It's not Roman people. It's Romania, the country.
Worse.
God, excuse me for being educated, you fucking weeaboos.
No, okay, you're
Slavs.
Stop this. I want everyone in the comments to stop indirectly sucking Trillion off because he knows some basic historical knowledge, right? When he brought up the Japanese and their feudal lore and the Edo period, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's so
woke.
He's so well read." It's like you watched like half a documentary. Well, I don't know. That's just common knowledge. What, you never learned that in like 8th grade world history, that the Japanese closed their doors to the rest of the world for some time, and the fact that they became a superpower essentially with no one else's help, pretty much. Yeah, it's impressive. And now they make my video games like Spider-Man on the PS4.
They make Nissan. Also took about 600 hours on Total War Shogun 2.
Yes.
We do not talk about this. This is private knowledge. People please do not look up Trillion Packs on Steam. You'll be sorely disappointed.
Oh yeah, Trillion is a streamer now, right? I saw some of Aziz's videos, playing Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
did you see my tournament? I was commentating and wasn't talking about the game at all.
Yeah, come on, Trillion. If
Dude.
you want to get on Twitch, you're gonna have to do better than that.
Well, I don't want to get on Twitch, but like, dude, everybody does what you basically did, which is like, why don't you do stuff for us? And I'm like, okay, and it's that simple.
Okay, hold on. King Ace responded in the comment section. He called me a clown. That does it. King Ace, you're officially invited to episode 6, the very next episode of the Anime Law. We can settle this like men. We'll see if I'm such a clown. What am I a clown for?
Whoa.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe because you talked Spanish in the beginning, and the Spanish are clowns. Maybe, I don't know.
Ah, yes. That makes no sense.
Yes, they do, because they had an empire and they fucked it up.
That doesn't make them clowns.
Yes, they did. Dude, how Spain is not irrelevant anymore. Their entire point of relevancy is a football team.
You come into my stream and you try to act like you're relevant now.
Hey, don't start stealing my quotes. and then you use that as comeback statements. That's not allowed.
There was a hesitation. You like had to think, oh, have I heard this before?
Yes. I'm like, did he just do that? Fuck you, Louis. See,
I have no morals, bitch. All right. And that's why I'm going to destroy you when I make this diss track. And just because King Ace can catch the smoke in the middle of a fire, who cares anymore? I'm going to diss my entire comment section.
You're like a kamikaze. Eh?
Yeah. Everyone and their grandmothers has already made that joke.
I'm new. Fuck you. I'm allowed to be new.
Oh no. Okay, hold on. King Ace claims he doesn't want to be in the next episode. He wants to be in the finale. Bitch, you got it.
Oh, okay. He wants to be in the finale. Oh, he'll be scared. Oh, for what we're preparing for the finale, guys. Like, I don't think Daddy Suicide is gonna be able to handle it. I think it'll be too much for him.
I'm a clown for trying to diss you. Well, I wasn't trying to diss you originally, all right? But
dude,
you get in the way of some shots. Dude,
you know how it is, man. Like no sleep.
You know how it is when you got too many bitches on your dick.
Yes.
No sleep.
Oh, I'll never let that go. That was brilliant.
Why did he delete that song? Okay.
Why did he delete the video? Can you remember that one video? Dude, that's like, I have to show it to my kid when I'm older so he knows what not to do in life type of video, you know? Why did he delete it?
No, it's the personification of what the internet represents. It's just like mistakes that everyone will cherish in the future.
Dude, I envy the next generation because they're gonna have so much. They're gonna have so much to look at and laugh their asses off at.
Yeah, a lot more than we did.
The
Dude,
iPad generation.
no, not the iPad generation. The floating cars with like YouTube in your fucking eye generation. You know that step. Those guys, I bet they'll be like nerds or rather geeks or like like underground people who will watch all the old videos of people who made content and then make compilations on the highlights, and those people will be champions because they looked over all the boring stuff to filter them out and get all the good stuff out for the new generation to consume. And it's going to be a trip. Like, I envy the people who will be born 40 years from now, because like there's so much. It's so rich now. The information, it's the information era. It's so rich. It's just beautiful.
You know, Trillion, King Ace just called you irrelevant.
That's a phrase a lot of the anime community uses to like throw at me for some reason. I really don't get it. Like, when have you guys ever been relevant to anything to call me like irrelevant?
No, it's not that. Don't take it too seriously. That's not what I mean. It's just don't take it.
I'm confused. Not like it's like a black guy calling another guy nigga. Of course. What do you want?
No, it's not. Everyone's irrelevant to someone, right? But I'm just letting you know because not because it's true. I'm letting you know because clearly King Ace is going to be coming in to the finale swinging some bombs. But you're the Italian terrorist, so make sure you have some in return.
So King Ace is saying that
Code is my dog. Yeah, I agree,
yes.
man. Code is everyone's dog, okay? He is a lap dog. He went to Japan, got dumped by his girlfriend. Now he's stuck there. What else do you... Dude, somebody sent me a link to his last live stream. It's just him. He's so lost. He's like on the beach. He's like, I moved out. Of what? You were in Japan? Why? You have no job. You have no skill. You have no talent. What are you there for? He wanted to live in Japan. And I want to be 6 foot tall.
What?
Dude, I need to show you the most pathetic way to start a video I've ever seen in my life. Hold on. I must. There's no way around it anymore. Look what you've done. This isn't even worse than that Drake song. Look what you've done. You know how Leafy is here? He used to make those videos and he used to title them the saddest man on the planet or the worst guy to do this or do that or something terrible.
Yeah, the worst era of YouTube.
He clearly never watched the Code Provider video.
Dude, Leafy got off the map, just evaporated because of iDubbbz.
Right?
Dude, I came into that game late, the iDubbbz game. I wished I was there when he really threw the shots. I just saw the aftermath. Oh, it was so beautiful. I hope he does anime YouTubers. Really, he did some from like the reviewers for like sandwiches. I want him to do one for the YouTube community. Just make them all irrelevant.
The one with Tena Monkey was amazing.
Damn, he deleted it. He deleted the video I was looking for. But let me describe it for you. The way he starts out the video is he's flossing his teeth, and he has a piece of like seaweed stuck in his gum. And he's using one of those little dinosaur floss things, like the little picks, but it's shaped like a dinosaur. And then, he's using that. And he spends a solid 2 minutes just trying to get it out. And that's how he starts the video. And then he talks about how, his girlfriend is is leaving him, I presume, and amongst other things. It's just sad. It's very sad to see how some people have fallen, because I do care about people sometimes.
You know, I keep wondering, is the internet the best kind of therapist or the worst kind of therapist?
It is the worst.
No, that's a question without an answer.
Like, you never know, right? Because it either pushes somebody in the right direction or it just destroys them. There is no in between.
There is so much power to be gained from the internet. I don't think people realize how much they have at their fingertips. How much of an influence you have typing up "get cancer, die faggot" on your keyboard on every single video you hate. Just to think that leaves a legacy.
It's beautiful, man.
Also, Louis, you're gonna get this work for only telling Trillion what I wrote. Shut the fuck up, King Ace. What is it? Trillion's a big boy. He can go read the quote if he wants. You know. Yeah, he's pure. He's a pure soul. That doesn't mean he still doesn't look like a dick right now. Literally.
At least he's a circumcised one.
There we go. And it's beautiful, Trillion. You know, there we go. You know, just flash, fabulous. Wave your beautiful, luscious hair.
Dude, I love doing that in public to get people confused.
Yeah, just do that. Rub your scalp. Just do it in front of someone. You're waiting in line at the bank. Just run your hair back like this. Make some groans. Yeah, do what Babushka's doing right now. Just start. Yes. It's not even there. Just start flipping it. Bring a comb with you. Bring a fork, like your brother said, and just try to like put it in there, but it won't fit because there's no.
Dude. And when somebody looks at me weird, like, what the fuck? I tell them, you know, phantom pain.
Can you feel it
too? Dude, I bet Trillion will do this all the time. Like, just waiting.
Oh my God.
Just combing his glorious beard.
Hey, do not judge, okay? Do not judge. Yes, I do.
Of course, I do too.
Dude, you have to, because it gets chaotic and you have to take care of your beard, you know? It's very serious business. It's the manly men way of doing things. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Of course.
Louis should start going into the beard game, since I made you go into the beard game also.
I'm not ready to Louis. A beard yet. Yeah. I did have a beard for a short time, but I shaved it before the new season of the anime law because, you know, I want to look clean, make some good impressions.
Oh.
Dude, I still can't get over the fact that not a single politician you have has a beard. Come on.
Oh, that's not a complaint that is exclusive to you, my friend. Can you imagine Donald Trump with a beard? Mwah. He will be president for the rest of his life.
Dude, I want a guy with a goatee, right? Who came out of like the woodworks in Texas to run for office and win. I really want that to happen.
Probably stealing and fixing cars in Mexico. Hey, pendejo!
There we go. Just start in the middle of a speech, it just slips out. My fellow Americans, hipotitos. Vamos a hablar today. We are going to speak about the
Dude, we need a guy with like an epic mustache, like Nietzsche type mustache. You know, the like two rockets just launching, and you don't know where the end is.
Yes, we need a Hispanic president with a giant beard that like comes all the way up.
Mamacita.
And we need that president with the giant beard or with the giant stash and with the accent to do the Spanglish thing so that the speeches take twice as long. Like he says one line in Spanish and then the other line in English.
Oh,
You know, and he
beautiful.
runs on the position. I'm trying to reach out to my immigrant voters to connect with them.
That sounds great, man. That, like, dude, this needs to happen. Come on, like,
I'm
dude.
ready.
If Trump made it, everybody can make it. I want The Rock to run against Oprah Winfrey, against Trump, against Kanye. Let's do this. Let's make it a battle royale of celebrities of this shit.
Don't
I-
make Kanye a president. Let's puppety scoop.
You know what's funny is that an article came out the other day where it said Kanye is preparing to run in 2024 because he's no longer running in 2020, right? Because he supports Trump. So he's planning on running in 2024. And there was a very perplexing word in that headline, prepared, or he is preparing. What do you honestly, in your heart of hearts, believe that Kanye West is doing to prepare for being president? Do you think he's preparing a diss on his potential competition?
Yes, I hope so. Yes, I want
I don't
Kanye.
I don't think Kanye has ever dissed anyone though. Has Kanye ever released a diss track?
Dude, he's not dissing. He's paying off his loans.
Fair enough.
He loaned,
For
he
his
loaned
PhD
from a
in
lot
art.
of rappers, dude.
You want to talk about some pointless majors too. He brags about having a PhD in art, and the reason he can get away with it is because he's a multi-million selling artist, right?
My flat ass.
Yeah, try that with anyone else. Like I have a PhD in art, and I'll have the small fries with that, please.
Dude, having a PhD in art is like
Why?
I don't even have an analogy. It's that bad. Like, because it doesn't matter what you have, what can you produce, especially for the creative works, right? I have a PhD in cooking. Well, serve me food then. What are you waiting? A clap? Make the food.
No,
you know?
because the PhD in anything, it revolves around the theory of what the subject is, right? What the PhD is in. It's not about actually doing the work. Have you noticed that the people who write the stinking textbooks, those people all have PhDs or high degrees? They never know how to apply what they know into practice because they've never been in the field. They studied education and a bit of the field in order to write the textbook. And they run a pretty successful scam, charging the same amount for the same book every single year.
I have a perfect example of this, actually. I have a friend in college who is the exact opposite of me. Straight A student, same laid back attitude, but he actually like studies and everything. And he loves me because I do everything except studying. And all he does is studying, right? Like, and what happens is he comes to me and he's like, I'm like, what are you gonna do in the future? And he's like, well, easy, PhD. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because that's the only thing I'm good at. I don't think I'll be able to make a building. To be more specific, he said, like run a drilling company because he's doing oil engineering or whatever they call it, petroleum engineering. Yeah, and he's like, so I'm gonna get a PhD and teach people because I don't think I'll be doing a good job if I get thrown in the actual field. And I love that kind of honesty, right? But what most PhD guys do is pretend they know what they're doing, and then they impose it on you because they're the instructor and you're the student. When in reality, most of them don't know shit. Most of them don't even have good views. Most of them are not even smart, right? And it pains me to see, like, you accept those to be the elite of society, but they're not. And it's annoying, honestly.
They just memorized a bunch of facts and they regurgitate it. It's the same thing, right? Their argument is that I know more about the subject than you. And again, you know it in theory, but now go out in the field and actually apply it.
Dude, you know what my favorite PhD is? A PhD in literature, whatever type of literature. You have a PhD about fangirling about dead people. Good job.
Dude, it's a PhD in reading. Like, you can't read in your own free time?
What do you call an artist who has a PhD?
Kanye West.
No. The press.
I love that. I love that so much. Echo makes it 10 times better.
Oh, beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Just perfect. Este bueno, buenísimo.
It's gonna like this is why like when people ask me, "Are you going for a PhD?" I tell them there's a reason I'm 2.0 exactly, because like people know I can do it, and people try to push me towards it. But I want to be clear. I don't want it, and I don't want it so much. I'm gonna get a 2.0 in my GPA, which is the minimum for passing, right? Like that's the reason. PhDs are pretentious. They create people with insecurities, and people want to download like the insecurities on the new students. So those insecurities get passed on to the newer generation the way bad genetics do. And I don't do that shit.
It's true. You know it's a pretentious field when somebody has to write their name down, and then that has to be like, if you have a semicolon in your Twitter tag or whatever it's called, you know, like Laura whatever Johnson, and then it's like it's either in parentheses or it's a semicolon, and it says PhD, or a comma it says PhD. Like, I don't. Who cares?
Dude, you know
People
what's
don't
worse?
go to Twitter to see that.
Dude,
People go to
even
Twitter
worse?
to see memes.
Yes. Yes.
Dude,
Not everyone
dude, the
does.
worst.
Yeah, some
Dude.
people go out there and try to have respectable conversations, and I would argue they fail pretty quick. There's only so much you can do with like 120 the words or whatever it is.
Dude, you know what's worse? The people who write ENG and their name, even though they're still students and they never built anything, right? Like ENG.
That's just bitter.
Yes, dude, they put it. They can't wait. They put engineer behind their car. You know, they put engineer everywhere. Dude, you're shit. There's 300 million of you. Dude, you might as well be IT. You know, you might as well be IT at this point. Why are you proud?
See, like this is why I can somewhat admire a person who gets a PhD in gender studies or art. It's sure, you may never find a job ever, but at least you're original. There are not many people in this world who have a PhD in those things, and maybe somewhere that counts for something.
Wrong.
Why does this get me every time?
It's just perfect, man. It's just perfect.
Because he doesn't do it every time. He does it once and then waits for it to die down, right? You know,
Dude,
like he lets 45 minutes pass.
Dude, I should get a PhD in memology.
Please, if we can get a PhD in pop culture, make a PhD in memes. It can't be any better or worse.
Yeah. I want to say this comment for you. I don't know if you're reading the comment section or not, but multi-pierce123 just said, "Thank goodness we have you on the stream." Because I never know how much I needed the echo effect on depressed.
I will say this. I am so torn right now because we're going to go ahead and end this soon about who the MVC is. Because the most valuable commenter this time around, in my eyes, it's closing in on being another tie between Malasanka and Multi-Pierce 123. So before I give my take, who would you, if you guys have been following the comments, who do you think it belongs to? They've been commenting the most.
I'd give it to Multi Pierce because he said something before the stream started, and to me, I appreciate it. He said like you always trust you can always trust on Trillium Packs to lag and for Louis to be late.
Yeah.
And somebody who's that with that level of knowledge, with his consistent commenting ability, like I have to vote for Multi Pierce 1, 2, 3.
Bushka.
Yeah, I would say Multi Pierce. He had some good jokes. He, most of all, he appreciated my fucking voice changer.
Well, it's 2-1 at this point, so it doesn't really matter what I say. But you'll be happy to know, Multi Pierce 1, 2, 3, that I actually was gonna select you as well, just by an landslide, though, because I mean, Sanka was on your tail. Those two very good, high caliber commenters, and I know you really wanted to be an MVC so badly. And oh wait! Malasanka claims to have a PhD in the anime law.
Dude, judging how Multi Pierce writes a summary for each of the anime law episodes starting season 3, I can dispute that claim very much.
I think he deserves it. You're right.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. Plus, he promised me that he would become a Black Lagoon fan if he got named MVC. So on that note, I hereby declare congratulations, Multi Pierce 1, 2, 3. You are this stream's most valuable commenter.
Here you go. Let me bless you with my bald head.
Yes, please
May
zoom
this
in.
blessing make this reward, the reward of being the MVC, the greatest thing you ever achieve in your pointless life.
Let's
There you go.
let's
There you go.
provide Multi Pierce with our beard energy.
Yes.
Rub it in. Rub it in.
Yes, let's do this.
Oh, dude, I can't do it. It's on the webcam. Wait, I'm gonna do it with the next.
Oh, we like entered an alternate reality.
That's the beard dimension, dude.
And
Okay,
on
I
that
can't laugh loud, dude. I can't laugh loud. People are sleeping. Don't do this to me.
on that note, I think that is a fantastic place to end it. I want to thank you all for coming to watch this week's episode of the Anime Law. We will be back next week with the second to last episode of this season. And then, of course, the much anticipated finale. You should be there for that. Your friend should be there for that. Your dog should be there for that. And I want to thank our guest, Babushka, for taking the time to be here with us. And any closing words besides the echo?
Do you know why they called me Babushka?
That's obvious. Yes. Now I do.
I'm a Russian prophet, everyone.
We usually people usually do shout outs in the end. Do you want to shout out anybody or anything you're doing?
Oh yeah, shout out to Louis, of course, the streamer. I like to shout out to close people, you know. Shout out to the Boltrillion with his glorious glare, the horizon of his head, and Malaksanka, Multi Pierce. Congrats for the MVC. Yeah, that's basically it.
For me, I will give a shout out to Babushka's lunch that he's gonna make for us and the
Oh
hangout
yeah,
a few hours from now. I'm really looking forward to it.
send some pics, boy.
It's gonna be great. Louis, you're gonna be jelly. It's gonna be
Yes.
great.
Please make sure to send me so many pictures like you always do every time you eat anything, it seems like. Because food, yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yes, you haven't, because it's Arabic food. Arabic food is superior. Everybody knows. That's the only thing we're good at.
That's my secret recipe, Billy.
Make a channel. Do you have a channel? That's smart to shout that out.
Oh yeah, my channel is here Babushka. I have unlisted videos of my own memes.
Yes.
And hopefully one day they will become listed videos of your memes.
Yeah, I'm gonna list them probably soon before I cook, just to get some support.
Yes, everybody subscribe to Harry Babushka.
And hopefully I would make it to the finale, just to be the judge and talk shit more.
Sure.
Yes, we have a lot planned for the finale.
Yes, it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be great.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful chaos.
Dude, I'm gonna work on some new voices, like the FBI one. Dude, this one is just perfect. FBI.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yo, what just happened?
Exactly.
Oh, this is great.
On that note,
we,
we're going to be
as much
talking
as
about the recent developments of sex dolls. And in the background, you're just going to hear that.
It's gonna be great.
On that note, Trillion, lead us out this time around.
All right. I don't know. I didn't like. Okay. Let's improvise. My children, we have concluded our crusade for this time. May our greatness.
Oh, hold on. That's not fair. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a second.
Yes, everybody needs weaponry. Come on, let's do this. Yes. Yes.
Continue.
Yes. We have concluded our crusade. May God bless you all, and to all a good night or morning or whatever the fuck you guys are into these days.
Yes.
Yes.